Fire. Water. Earth. Air. Not long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Hello.
I'm unmuted. I muted. I had to unmute everything very quickly. But it's okay. They missed me just saying hello. Oh, the audio is too loud? Okay. It's not super well balanced to the fact that there's absolutely no audio before it. So you have no way to adjust your audio. So that's good for me to know.
Sorry.
I should maybe play some music in the intro. Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We just got started. I made an intro because I could.
And you should, because you could.
And it was awesome.
I'm glad we all enjoyed
great.
it. You can go through
Be
that
nice
over on
to
YouTube.
yourself.
Thank you.
water.
I did it because I really wanted to. And I was like, I think I can make this happen. So hi, everybody. Welcome in. We are here to play an RPG. To set up some context, this is an extension of... At one point, I started running a show here called Celestial Rangers. And Celestial Rangers is amazing and wonderful. But also, Celestial Rangers finished. It was a Sailor Moon RPG. And so when that was done, I was like, well, I need something new and cool. So I also just realized I started recording and then I forgot to hit the recording button until just now. So I almost feel like I have to start it. It's fine, whatever. That's what highlighting and exporting is
Take
for.
two, it's fine. It's live. Live is fine. We'll just
Doing
go
it
again.
live. Let's
We can do it
it.
again.
Nah, it's okay. It's all good.
Okay.
Sure?
No, it's cool. I'm just gonna highlight and export from Twitch and it'll be fine. So Celestial Rangers was wonderful and amazing, but I wanted to do something else wonderful and amazing now that it was done. And about 2 years ago, it might be 3 at this point. I'm not sure, Maris. I was at a White Elephant at Maris's place, and in that White Elephant, there was this book, The Legend of the Elephants. Just gonna keep saying it wrong, which is essentially the Avatar: The Last Airbender, the RPG.
Yes,
And
we might have semi-fought over it.
yeah, there was a lot of fighting, and then there was a lot of collusion.
Yes, she promised to run this game for me if I let her have it.
I did, and you know what? I'm following through on my promise.
Yes.
It's only a little bit late at this point, but I'm doing
okay.
it. So this RPG, I aggressively won at a White Elephant, and now we are here playing it today on stream, and I am very excited. Also, if one of the mods could post a note in the Discord, I definitely forgot to include my hashtag in the tweet. That would make it automatic, so it'd be really great for me if you could do that. On that note, thank you, Pumpkin. Let us talk about this rule system so that all of us can remember it. But first, let us introduce who these wonderful people here are with me, and we'll just go around in the circle based on the screen. And it looks like everybody needs to be slightly adjusted on my end, so I'll let them talk while I do it. So let's start with the top left-hand corner, which is playing Senna-Jun is Fabric Alchemist.
this one.
Go ahead and just talk about who you are, and
I
then
am.
like 2 sentences maybe about your character. We don't need a lot of detail because we'll kind of meet them as we play.
That sounds good. I am Maris. I am Fabric Alchemist. I sew things. I work on magic, and I am playing Senna, and she is a spirit shaper who is like fully clothed. Pretty much is just like you see her face, hood, long sleeves, turtleneck. Yeah. She might sneak up behind you, but she's just being friendly.
But not because she's sneaky.
No.
So let's go moving down. We have Distracted Elf.
Hello, friends. I'm Distracted Elf. I do Twitch stream stuff. You may know me from other RPG shows. My character is Aki, and I'm going to keep it vague. She is ruthless but respectful and honorable and fair.
That is a thing this game does, which is descriptors. So everybody in this game gets two sets of 2 descriptors that are frequently contradictory, which I really enjoy. And also, I believe you are mostly clothed. Do we need to specify now that we know that?
I don't think we need to specify mostly clothed.
Good. but not fully, just mostly. Just yeah. There's
regularly clothed.
I mean, I'm a fabric alchemist.
Different.
I make clothes.
You make clothes, you can take clothes.
So next, let's Darcy. Who are you? What
Hello,
are you doing here?
I'm Darcy Ross. I'm from Monte Cook Games. I'm their community relations coordinator, and I'm super excited. And you're about to meet my cat, who's going to definitely feature prominently here. Hello, Chewy. This is Chewy.
Kitten.
Yep, I just got home, so we're gonna have a stream cat. So I'm Darcy Ross. I'm from Monte Cook Games, taking a break from the Kickstarter to actually get to play. I'm playing Rill. They are a waterbender. They're in the Earth Kingdom, so you can see a super cool illustration that a friend of mine, a 13-year-old budding artist, did of my character. Very recently. So if you go to my Twitter, which is Darcy L. Ross, you can find that super, super cool illo of this character. So you'll meet Rill, who is enthusiastic and impatient, calm and kind, and you can see their clothing on the illustration. So we're set.
My favorite part is we've already had 2 pieces of fan art on this for this show. This is the first episode.
Right.
We had 2 pieces. It's great.
There was one before it even started.
Right?
That's true. That's
Right?
true.
And lastly, but certainly not leastly, Marcus, who are you?
Hi, I am Marcus, best kind of worst on Twitter. I am playing a character named Cerise, a peasant.
Do you want to give us your descriptors?
Oh, absolutely. I would love that. My descriptors are... Hold on. I have to find them.
You got this. I have faith in
They
you.
are here. Here we go. Cautious and superstitious, ignorant but sly.
I love it. Oh, I love them. All right.
Very excited.
I forgot to give Senna's.
Yeah.
Can I give Senna's descriptors?
Let's do it.
Pacifistic and understanding, intimidating and secretive. Hence the sneaking up on people.
Yeah, I love it. So let's talk about this RPG system. We are using Legend of the Elements. It is a Powered by the Apocalypse system. So if anyone has played any other Powered by the Apocalypse systems like Monster Hearts, Masks, it's more Apocalypse World, the one that started it. There's a whole bunch of them. It's a sort of framework of rules that is frequently used to create a lot of different RPGs in different settings. So you'll be familiar with kind of the function of how this works. So every character in this system has, I believe all have 5 stats. You all have natural, hot, solid, keen, and fluid. And whenever they want to do something, they will tell me what it is that they want to do, and we will mutually decide on the best move that they will do, which is the action. That will determine what stat they roll with and also what the outcomes of those rolls are. So they might speak honorably, or perhaps they will act dishonorably or commit open violence. There's a few different options that are the basic rules. And then every character also has a playbook that gives them some extra moves. So, for example, our water shaper or waterbender has water bending as a special move that they can have on their playbook. And those are often resolved in the same way. They will roll something, and then that will determine their outcomes. Typically in this system, a success is anything that is 7 or above. So 7 to 9 is considered a partial success. So what the player wants to have happen normally happens, but there's some sort of cost or consequence. And then anything 10 and above is a full success. What they want to have happens without a consequence. Anything below 7, so a 6 or lower, is typically a failure, where maybe what they want to have happen happens, but definitely not in the way that they want it, or in what they were intending or expected. So there'll be consequences or outcomes. And that's the basic core of the system. The system also has a couple of other things. So kind of like Monster Hearts, if you're familiar with it, you will all be able to gain tags. And tags are mostly just a narrative thing. So that might be a way you could tag an enemy with, like, they're stunned. And that would keep them out of the conflict for a little while. So until something happens to resolve your tag kind of influences what you can do in the narrative and what the NPCs can do in the narrative. So some of your actions allow you to tag someone based off of the outcome of your roll. The other thing that you can do is that you can spend a point of chi by So, for example, this character was an NPC was stunned. That's their tag. You could essentially say, because this NPC is stunned, I'm going to use that to my advantage. And you can spend a point of chi to upgrade your result to a tier higher. But you have to be able to manipulate a tag in order to do that. And chi is essentially your experience points. So you always earn chi whenever you fail a roll. So whenever you roll 6 or less, if you fulfill an oath, so you all have oaths on your playbooks, if you just do super awesome at role-playing your character and getting your character into trouble, or other playbooks might have other ways of getting chi. But the main one to remember is that every time you fail a roll, get 6 or less, mark up point of chi on your sheet, and then you can either spend 5 to take an upgrade, or you can spend 1 to improve a roll by using an environment tag or a tag on an NPC. Other than that, you can also have points of fortune. You can spend a point of fortune to not get yourself tagged. So you can be like, haha, no, I'd get out of dodge. So you're not in trouble, because you can only have 1 mild tag, 1 moderate tag, and 1 severe tag. And that's like kind of your health system. So if like your severe tag is unconscious, like y'all are unconscious.
Oh no.
Unless you do something to get rid of that tag. And so tags might be something that I will apply to you if you like fail your roll, or do something really drastic that results in consequences to your actions.
Consequences.
Otherwise, you all have oaths and respect. So you all have promised something to someone, whether that someone is a person or some higher power. And you also have people that you respect. They're kind of like influence and or strings and monster hearts, influence and masks. And you can utilize that influence to also add boosts to your roll. So if someone respects you and you're trying to like, they're trying to help you, then you add +2 to your roll. So respect is a good thing to have, and you have ways to keep track of that on your sheet. I think I've pretty much covered the basics of the rules. We have done a session 0, so everyone is we're all moderately familiar with this, but it's a little bit of a reminder process. Does anyone have questions or things that they don't remember, or things that they see on their sheet that they're like, what?
I think O's were a thing that my character didn't have the same as O's.
I think none of them are the same based on
Yeah, you should all have
Sweet.
a different oath based on your playbook. You made specific oaths and things, but you can use your oath. So if you break an oath, that can be bad. But if you fulfill an oath, you gain chi. So breaking oaths is interesting. I think we're good with that. So, with that, let us take ourselves. You know what? The one thing I wish this world had like a name. Like it's not like like Thedas or
it kind
something
of doesn't
like that.
have like a world.
Yeah, there's no like
Avatar verse.
world. Yeah, the
Pandora.
Avatar verse. I'm like, I guess because if you say the world of Avatar, people are like the blue aliens, and I'm like, no, that's Pandora.
Damn it.
Get out of here with your
Pandora 2. Done.
Blue
Original,
aliens.
Brand new concept.
get
That's
out.
Pandora backwards.
Leave. I can
I'll
mute
see
you. I
myself out.
have that power. I started this call.
A Ron
It's
map.
yeah, the Bendyverse. The Bendyverse. New Pandora. I like all of these suggestions. Yeah, all of these excellent suggestions. With that, however, let us enter the world of the avatars, the elements, and all of these things. For context, for anyone who does not know about this world, who is unfamiliar with it in our audience, in this world is like a big continent. There's a big continent, and then there's like two smaller continents that are like North and South Poles, and then there's like a bunch of islands. But the important thing to know about this world is that there are four nations. There is the Fire Nation, the Earth Kingdom, the Water Tribes, and the Air Nomads. And each of them, within those nations, there are people that have the ability to manipulate a particular element to their will. So there are Earthbenders, Firebenders, Waterbenders, and Airbenders. And about 3 years before the events that, and there is one person in the world, the Avatar, who can control all four elements and must keep them in harmony. Something like that. I feel like I should read the intro sequence. And about 3 years before the events of this particular story that we are telling, the Fire Nation was like, but what if we controlled the world? And so they launched an invasion. Specifically, they launched an attack on all of the air temples. There were 4 air temples, and they destroyed them because they knew that the newest avatar was going to be one of the Earth air nomads. And so they said, what if we get rid of the avatar and cut it off at the pass? Then we don't have to worry about it anymore. But the thing that they didn't know, well, they eventually figured out, is that they failed. They have no avatar has emerged, and so presumably the avatar was not killed because a new avatar is only born when the last avatar dies. And but they went about their merry way and said, but what if we just take over the Earth Kingdom now? And that is essentially where our story is taking place. The Fire Nation has launched their attack on the Earth Kingdom, and they have begun attempting to make their way to Ba Sing Se, the capital. We, however, are not set in the capital. We are set in a northern Earth Kingdom city known as Taku. And Taku is a reasonably sized city, but it is also a coastal city. So a lot of import and export comes through this location. It does feature in a single episode called The Blue Spirit of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So if you want to familiarize yourselves a little bit more with this, you can go watch that previous episode. But we are here before the city has been destroyed, but it is currently under siege. The Fire Nation hasn't managed to breach the city in its entirety, but they're certainly doing a good job of sieging the city, destroying crops, harassing any caravans or people that try to leave, and generally making the lives of the people that live there difficult. Their hope being that if they can control this part of the city or prevent this the city of Taku from standing, that will be a significant loss to the Earth Kingdom. The city of Taku is known for its herbalist institute and its medical knowledge, which does provide a lot of service to the Earth Kingdom. So we find ourselves in this city, large stone buildings winding their way up. It's largely kind of a hilly city. We see these buildings sort of winding their way up, and the Herbalist Institute sits upon one of the hills. There's a bay, sort of cove-like area where we can see the harbor of the city where a lot of ships used to come in and out. And off in the distance in the harbor, we can see the Fire Nation boats holding the line there, maintaining the siege, preventing boats from coming in and out. And we can also see sort of a distance beyond that where the Fire Nation have their camp. They don't just live on the boats, but they are near. There's sort of an ever-present nature to these troops. Often we see plumes of smoke rising from their camps, and it creates a sort of ominous presence, even on days sometimes that would be sunny and bright. There's a little bit of sort of a dark tinge to the sky from the smoke from their fires and their machines. And we see a lot of destruction on the edges of the city in particular. A lot of the farmland has been razed or destroyed, and people are sort of condensing themselves into the walls of the city of Taku in order to protect themselves from the Fire Nation, from soldiers that would come and attack their homes. Although there are still some bastions, there are still individuals keeping themselves in their family lands and maintaining those locations. And in fact, let's head to each of them. I think we're going to do a little flyby as the camera is going to introduce ourselves to each of these characters. So we will begin on the edges of the city. And I think at first glance, we don't see a farm. What do we see, Cerise?
You see a kind of a big, like almost like it looks like part of a mountain is just covering something, and like it doesn't look like a full mountain. It looks like half a mountain. It looks like someone built a mountain set that you can rotate around and see the back of it, but it's secretly not a mountain. It's a cave, and it's a cave where my parents or my grandparents, my family's cherry farm is located. There are lots of rows of cherries, trees. Cherry fact, one cherry tree can have 7,000 cherries on it. That's a cherry fact from me, the cherry farmer.
I need to know, how many cherry facts do you have?
More than you could possibly understand.
Oh no.
Thanks.
Chat, please start counting them.
Yeah, cherry fact.
Do it.
That was cherry fact number 1.
Cherry fact,
cherry fact number 2, they're red. Cherry fact number 3,
Not all
I
of
love
them.
them.
Not all of them are red. That's not a fact. That's an opinion.
Hey, well, there might be some cherry opinions spliced in there. You never know. But what are you guys, cherry farmers? No. So
I guess not. I didn't realize you become a method actor.
I guess, and you don't let me have any of them anymore.
no, Senna is not allowed there. Well, not because I don't want to, because Senna's a really good friend of mine. However, my grandma doesn't like because you ruined half of season's crops after you conjured that panda ghost.
So we see this
was
cherry
gonna
farm.
I don't think that it did, because it ruined half of the crops, and now my grandma tends to glare at you. And then when she sees you, she says, "That one's not coming over, is she?" And I'm like, "I don't know." But then yeah.
So we see this cherry farm, this raised earthen wall that was put there by earthbending.
Cherry cave.
It was your grandmother, right? She's the earthbender?
Well, my grandmother and my grandfather my grandfather was an earthbender. He, during the Fire Nation attack a few years ago, he used his earthbending to protect our farm.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he did not make it, but the farm did. So we're going to try our best to keep it going.
So the earthbending that killed him?
No.
Okay. Was it the Fire Nation?
Yes.
Okay. So they raised a portion of the earth to protect this cherry farm. Behind it, we see these rows of cherry trees, kind of sunlight still catching them despite this overhanging of rock. And amongst these cherry trees, we see Cerise. And what is Cerise doing? What does
Cerise
like?
is hiding, carving little letters into each tree because he likes to name them all. It's to help him know which ones are growing at a good day. Sometimes they like talking. He's also repairing his paper mache-esque kind of cherry suit that he takes to the market sometimes to sell things. It was damaged in a previous battle. But on the plus side, if you look over next to him leaning on the tree, is this wonderful weapon, this sword. He winds up taking it everywhere he goes. He got it from the coolest hero in the entire town, the Olive Fox. It's just the coolest thing that's ever happened.
I have a picture of this sword. I'll post it in chat.
Let me just tell you what the Olive Fox is like. The Olive Fox is like a real life superhero, and not like those sticks that I tied together and play with and pretend that are real life superheroes. This is the real deal.
So Cerise is picking cherries? Just tending
carving
to the
cherries,
trees?
building a chair, just tending to the trees.
Okay.
Kind of wasting time. It's kind of it's kind of done today.
And the sun is setting slightly. Senna, were you over? Did you go over there to talk to Cerise at all, or do you actually avoid the cherry farm now?
I mean, every month I try swinging by at least once, just in case Grandma has changed her mind. She doesn't seem like she has.
Never does.
So perhaps Senna, you are on your way to the cherry farm.
It's the monthly pilgrimage past the cherry farm.
You just happen to be in the neighborhood on the super outskirts of the city where no one goes because the Fire Nation troops are definitely walking a lot of the time. But you were totally just on your way somewhere.
Yes, I mean I do sometimes come out here to make sure that there aren't any victims of the Fire Nation, just to make sure their spirits can get where they need to go and make sure their families can know where to find them.
That makes sense. So the camera sort of trails away from this cherry farm, from Cerise, from the sword, and passes over a figure, Senna Jun. And what do we see?
You see just a slender person walking along, has a hood up. Hood. I brought props. Hood. Oh no, that looks much more grandmotherly than secretive.
Could be to curry favor with Grandma Avo.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that might work.
Okay, hold on. We'll try this again. Yes, we've adjusted my hood that I normally wear to kind of stay out of sight. I'm as I've wandered to the cherry farm, I do kind of avoid the living people. Kind of, I don't know how to interact with all of them, especially Grandma.
But I assume you see, I feel like you almost see a different aspect to the world a little bit
Yeah.
when you were walking. I think for a moment our view switches over to what it is that you see. What does the world look like to Senna?
The colors are maybe a little bit more neon and pastel-y. So if you're looking at and just like slightly just off center, like, so if you were looking at a tree, the brown trunk might be glowing a little bit of a brighter orange, and it just kind of glows just maybe off a few inches to the side. And same with all the green leaves. They're just a little bit brighter, but they're glowing a little bit off the edge of where the leaves are. And that's the same kind of everywhere I see. And then sometimes there will be kind of a bluish rabbit that hops by, or and sometimes it's a rabbit with wings. And there's just a kind of a peaceful element of activity that's kind of all around, and maybe a distant hum, kind of like when you're near cicadas, but it's less in your face and just kind of distantly there. Yeah.
And you make your way up to the cherry farm.
Mhm.
Cerise, does your family have a last name? Is it? And don't tell me it's Cherry.
Listen, Lauren, I don't want to lie to you.
No, it's a Cherry. Are you Cerise Cherry?
I don't have a last name.
I feel like it's like Chilean jar, so like another language word for cherry.
Or shard. Cerise or shard. If you want a name right now, if you want to give me some time, I can
It's up
change
to
it.
you. It's fine. We go past to the Cherry family farm, and do you approach at all, Senna? Are you going to say anything, or do you just like drive by?
I kind of walk towards, kind of, take a slight detour kind of toward the curved entrance of the cave, wave at Cerise.
Senna! Hey, come on down. Hey, it's nice to see you. Come on down. There's lots of cherries. You want cherry? You want some water? You want anything?
Okay. Hi. Yes, I'll come in.
Yeah, my grandma's not here. Don't worry.
Oh, great.
Yeah, watch. Grandma! Santa's here and she's got a panda.
I do not.
But she would have been here if you
It's
did.
true.
So she's not here. Welcome in. Have a seat.
Thank you. Where's the cherries you were telling me about?
Oh, right here. Ooh. Try Eddie's new cherries. And I pull some cherries from a tree with an E on it, and I drop some in her hand.
Thank you.
They're really tart, but they'll make you smart.
Are you
You
saying
feel smarter?
I mean, very tart.
Yeah, they're very tart.
You have it from water?
Oh yeah. I have there's a small hooked onto like these kind of cherry red stained overalls with an apron that has kind of blood, looks like blood, but it's just cherry juice all over. There is a small container of water that he passes over, unscrews and then passes over.
Thank you.
Good, right? This is my is my new crop. This is the brand new crop, the first cherry harvest of the tart season.
Are you anticipating people eating these straight? Do you want them to mix them in water?
I was
bake
thinking
them?
about seeing if we can sell them to the tavern down the road or down the way.
Ooh,
Maybe they can make some cider out of it or something.
I love this idea.
Yeah, we'll try to see. You know, it's always harder to sell the cherries around this time of year, but they're super tart. They're super great. And I think if I repair this cherry costume and I pick up like the stem of it that's kind of torn off, if I fix this, then I can probably go into town and make a whole bunch of money.
Always.
What are you up to today?
I mean, I guess I was coming to see you.
Oh, want to hang out?
As long as your grandma's not coming back anytime soon. I don't really want more sticks thrown at me.
I don't actually know where she went, but if she comes back, I've pretty much hidden most of her throwing sticks, so I don't think she'll be able to access them. However, she might have some rocks. you want
I
to
think-
just go somewhere else?
Yeah, because I think I actually want the sticks more than I want the rocks.
Yeah, that's a good idea because the rocks are jagged.
Yeah. They're harder to dodge.
Yeah, that's what you get when you mess with Earthbenders, huh? So, shall we?
Yeah.
I pick up the cherry costume because I don't want to leave it under Ed. Ed is like the cherry's gonna fall off. It's gonna splatter all over it, and you don't want a bloody looking cherry costume.
But your
so-
cherry, it's already red.
Well,
It's just going to be more red on red.
well.
I mean, you can take it. Don't.
He
It's
picks it
okay.
up, and
It's
just
okay.
like just kind of holding this thing that's like twice the size around of his body.
Here,
just-
let's put it over here on this barrel.
Okay. Set it on the barrel. Perfect. Okay. I almost forgot. And I pick up the sword and I just kind of put it over my shoulder.
Whoa.
Let's go.
What are you going to do with the sword?
Hold it. Think about it. All the time.
Okay. Those are both good things.
I don't have a sword holder, so I'm just gonna be my own sword holder with my
Oh
hand.
yeah, that's right. I assume there's no sheath. There's no scabbard. It's just the
Just
blade.
the sword.
No, I have the scabbard,
Yep.
presumably.
Yep.
Like, Senna is like actively anxious about this.
Oh,
Like, do you think, like, what if Fire Nation show up? Wouldn't they think that you're a threat?
I mean, if they look at me more than once, then I would assume that they wouldn't.
I just don't want to risk that.
Okay.
My friend.
I don't.
It is, after all, a renowned sword.
Okay. I have a plan. He runs back over to the barrel. He puts the cherry costume on with his face peeking through the big red spot, and inside there's a little hatch. Or he could just slide the sword underneath, and it just kind of fits over here. So here, no one can see it, and if I find the yellow fox, I can return their sword.
Yes, that's very true. That's very true. I will see if any spirits know where the olive fox might be.
If you're going to conjure spirits, let's do it away, because I don't need some kind of alligator mummy to come in and ruin Edward's wonderful cherries.
Okay. Well, yeah, we definitely won't do that here.
I start waddling in a direction.
So I think we watch the two of them walk away, and I almost, or maybe even like we get like a close up onto the sword, and then it like pans out to just this empty scabbard that we see Aki holding. Where is Aki right now?
She's in the room that she pays for at the local.
Oh, that's right, the Tipsy
like,
Badger Mole.
the Tipsy Badger Mole, the local tavern.
I bet they make good cherry tart cider.
Probably where she works for a room and board, and she has the scabbard of the sword in her hands. She's like, she curses a little under her breath. You can see her fingers like tighten on it, and she just like sort of puts it aside, and you get a zoom out onto Aki herself, and she's sort of a short-haired, a little bit like disheveled looking Earth Nation clothing, sort of greens and browns. She sighs and like,
Does she look as Earth Nation-y? I mean, I
she does, to the trained eye she would not, but she is wearing clothing of the Earth Nation, and usually that's enough these days, you know, like everybody's in uniform, as it were. But she's definitely not Earth Nation herself. And she like grabs an apron off the off like a hook nearby in her room, and like heads downstairs, like tying this apron around her waist, like getting ready to go and do a shift basically here at the Tipsy Badger Mole, as she must, to keep her room, all the while keeping her eyes sharply on anyone coming and going from the establishment, trying to keep her eyes out for any sign of her lost weapon. For she needs it for hero stuff, or I guess some people think hero stuff, but I mean, is it really hero stuff? Who knows?
the line between hero and vigilante is it's quite it's narrow. It's narrow.
Yeah, that's fine.
So as Aki gets to work in the bar, we leave the tipsy badger mole, and where will we find Rill today? I know Rill can be around the place. Are they at home? Are they somewhere else?
I think the camera pans out through, a patron coming into the Tipsy Badger Mole and a bell sounding, and we just, cross the street and we see Rill sort of looking furtively around in their sort of long asymmetric sort of cloak thing. They have their usual staff of driftwood with a beautiful blue stone at the top, and they're passing another furtive-looking young person, and the camera kind of zooms in on a little stone that's been carved with a particular couple of symbols, and the stone sort of passes hands and disappears into the cloak as Rill continues on their way, off to do some odd job, making their own living. But a mysterious message has exchanged hands.
It has indeed. And are there any other features you want to call out about Rill other than their lovely asymmetrical cloak, driftwood staff?
Absolutely. So as we sort of pan back a little bit, we see that there's they're very fashionable. They've got this like really well-made, beautiful sort of Earth Nation colored cloak. They've got a much very, very rich dark skin. They look a little bit like a waterbender from the water tribe, which they are. They have some cool tattoos related to their tribe that you can see on a forearm. And of course, they're sort of always playing with a little bit of water bending elements as they go. So they sort of have a fashion that's combining the Earth Nation, which they've grown up in, and the water tribes, which their sort of immigrant family came from, right? And so they have these big, billowy, flowy blue pants that they're sort of sauntering down the street with. So I think they look like they're about to go maybe bring something that's been smoothed via waterbending off to some client. They're sort of known for doing odd jobs. There's lots of fortifications that could use a little bit of bending help. Everybody pitches in where they can when it comes to fortifying against the impending attack by the Fire Nation. So one must be careful.
A long and unpleasant siege at this point. I think supplies are often low and dwindling. So Azrael heads in their direction. I feel like Cerise and Senna are perhaps going to... are you making your way into the city? Do you think two of you? So perhaps I think that Senna and Cerise will probably cross paths with Rill as they stroll down the path, not subtly, with much noise and gusto.
Almost preceded by
by the cherries.
Almost. I think, there's like a faint...
Shouting really has a far carry range.
Hey, Rill, over here! Rill, it's me, your best friend. Your BF in death. Let's go.
Rill looks really, frustrated.
They being sneaky?
It sort of stomps off toward Cerise. Well, I might have been.
I should whisper.
Rill sort of snaps, but then sees Senna and tries to sort of calm himself. Senna, hello. Good to
Hi,
see.
Rill. Cerise, I think we're good, right? Yes. Hi.
Cerise is just standing there, hands up, dead silent in a cherry suit, trying to aid with the sneakiness if possible, to hopefully retroactively add +2 to sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. We'll just drape part of Senna's cloak kind of like over part of the bright red and taps on the shoulder and like, we're good.
So now it's more like a boulder.
I kind of imagine it just over my face, which is protruding from the circle of the cherry suit. So this is going well.
Mm-hmm. 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 Have a
need a drink.
Direction anyway. Yes, actually.
It's the badger mole.
The badger mole.
Don't you want to see, Cerise? Don't you want to see if they are interested in sampling some of your tart cherries later?
Well, I did bring some in my pockets. Wait.
Pocket cherries.
No,
love
it's in the
that.
back. It's in the back hatch. Could you reach into the back hatch?
I think Rill
the
starts
cherry.
around and notices something really hard, poking out. What have you got in there?
Nothing.
Um,
Just stuff that I need for nothing.
Senna. Grandma Ava will have all of our heads if this one is up to anything. We
Not
have
so
to
much
keep it on the
up
level.
to anything as just hopeful that he can return something that someone has lost.
This seems like a conversation for inside the bedroom. Come this way. You can
Yes.
show me your cherries and whatever else it is later.
Just walk with you guys.
Yeah. Two of you walk with grace and poise, and then Cerise makes his way slowly across the plaza.
But with drama.
With many, I feel like at this
A plum.
point, though, with a it's a cherry. I feel like at this
the
point,
pictures.
the people of Taku know Cerise and the cherry suit, so it's a lot of like
we're
people
the biggest
look.
cherry farm on the island or whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot of like look, sigh, and then go back to whatever it is that they're doing as this large circular spherical bright red thing just like slowly crosses probably the plaza that the Tipsy Badger Mole is on. I feel like you probably go in first. You open the door. We hear the little sound of the bell. Aki, you look up and you see the familiar faces, and I'm not sure how many
It's
of
a
these
familiar
faces
three.
you have met in your current face or not, but you certainly recognize the three people that walk in. It's
Well,
hard
I mean,
to forget
mean,
one of them for sure.
I know that Senna knows me, for sure, because she knows
A little
she knows
salute across the
both of
tavern.
my identities. In fact, she is the only one. As to the other two, I'm not sure. But yeah, seeing them come in and sit down. I mean, it's my job to go over and take orders and so forth if that is the desire. So I head over to the table that they like squeeze the cherry suit into. I guess.
There's
Like
a crunching
awkwardly-
sound as he tries to
Oh,
enter the
no.
space. It's like,
And I give like I look to the two who are dressed normally in a regular sort of fashion, and my gaze lingers disdainfully on our cherry-suited friend. And there is a moment of silence before her very rote standard, like, "Welcome to Tipsy Badger Mall. Is there something I can get you?"
as I push my way all the way in, everyone's in ahead of me, obviously. I push my way in. As soon as I kind of squeeze through the door, the sword bursts through the lower
Oh no!
side, just the blade of it, just kind of shoots out next to my leg. And you just see the head and arms retract into the cherry suit. And you just,
I was like pulling it back up.
and then the hilt is kind of right here. Just to push it down. One arm comes back out, other arm comes back out, face comes back out. Sorry, what was the question?
Aki obviously like takes a moment to stare at that, like realizing what like the only blade that could be.
It is.
And
Senna
It's
just kind
important
of
to
looks
note
at Aki.
It is green. Like it is a beautiful green blade. It is distinctive and
like a
and
straight
symbolic.
sword, like
of the yellow
like a
fox.
Geon, yeah, and green blade.
Could you get us your most normal drink? A whole round of your absolutely most prosaic beverage, please?
Sure, most normal.
Yes.
Right.
Average.
Coming right up. Most normal.
Water?
I'll just assess that as I walk away. He gives Senna a look that's like, "Do you know what this is?" Like, what the fuck? As she's leaving, but she turns around and heads back to the bar to acquire the various drinks.
Cerise, are you sure you don't want to just like take that? How are you even sitting on the stool? Really, it would just be easier if this cherry suit came off.
So he's not really sitting on the stool. He's kind of
that's the
leaning
point.
with the appearance to make it look like it, but he's also kind of crunched in between the bar and the stool.
You're just gonna make more dents in the suit, and then you're gonna have to repair it later.
Well, I already got hot glue on the knife, on the sword. So
What?
Normal drinks, please. So if I take the suit off, then I have to hold it. I can't carry the suit around. What am I, some kind of idiot?
But we're gonna sit here and drink. You could put it down on the ground next to you.
Rill unbuttons one of the unclasps one of the sort of layered asymmetric cloaky things and sort of lays it on the table or sort of shuffles it over to Cerise. It'll fit in that, I think. How big is that thing? Where'd you get it?
It's like a sword. Like, what did you just unbuckle?
It's like this.
Like a scarf? Like, is that...
No, it's like a cape.
Okay,
It's like
yeah, so we're wrapping it in
down to my
fabric.
knees.
So arm goes down, face goes down, slides it up. It's kind of gets stuck on the shoulders, kind of wobbling a little bit. Might need some assistance here.
Halfway through this is when I come back. Like while Cerise is like halfway through taking off this cherry suit, and I just like lay down the like mugs of what I can only imagine is some kind of cherry cider for this place, like regular beverage.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a like they have like an alcoholic and a non-alcoholic one too, probably.
And yeah, non-alcohol, obviously.
It's a children's show.
Yeah, and
Just normal
stand
drinks.
there watching this display as it happens.
Where did that get there? He pushes it off and it just kind
At
of
this
goes
point,
flying, lands.
The
behind.
entire
Clank,
bar
clank,
is
clank.
watching.
The sword does hit whatever was on the counter in front of him, so hopefully it wasn't a normal
Clatter,
drink.
clatter, clatter, clatter. I think there is a
Wrap it in the
moment
scarf.
where
Or in the cape.
like as fast as you try to wrap up the sword, I feel almost like there is a moment where the sword like thunks loudly on the table, and the whole bar was watching you try and remove this cherry suit. It glints, like the green glints in the sort of somewhat dim light of the bar, and then you quickly wrap it up. But we see everybody see this.
I feel like there's this suspicious like look over her shoulder as she realizes that people have probably noticed that the sword is on the table.
And then also there a bunch of cherries tumble out.
Oh yeah, lots of cherries. The cherry hatch was it was compromised.
The cherry hatch is compromised.
Anything else? This comedy of errors that's happening in front of her.
Aki, could you maybe bring us some towels? I feel like we need to clean up this mess.
Yeah, I was just thinking a similar thing.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Really
we might need
sorry
your help.
about
We
that.
might need your help.
She like hurries away to
Really
go
sorry
grab
about that.
some rags and towels and such. And she's back within a few moments, like with a couple of things to like try and gather up, get rid of some of this cherry juice and like the various messes that you have made on this table. All the while she's thinking to herself, can I just grab the sword? But also she realizes how suspicious that would look if she was just like, I'm going to take this right now off this table. And she doesn't want to compromise her secret identity.
Cerise does pick up the sword and try to stash part of it wrapped in the cape.
Sort of shove it down your
in
pants.
Well, in his overalls.
Cerise!
It doesn't really fit very well.
So I have to ask, like, while she's like petting down the table, where did you get that? Doesn't that belong to? Like, she leaves the sentence sort of unfinished, figuring you know exactly what she's gonna say.
Cerise just kind of squints and leans in. It's a secret.
Yeah,
A really cool, heroic, awesome secret.
but you know what, Cerise? Now
Yeah?
everybody in this bar probably thinks you are the secret.
Rill stands up. We're putting on a play.
Yes.
It's happening Thursday night.
Thursday night. You got to check it out. It's called the
7 p.m.
The Rise and Fall of the Olive Fox. These are props and everything's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Nice one, Rill. Good catch.
This is actually cherry wood, painted green.
Yeah, not real, obviously, because that would be ridiculous to have the real hero's weapon here after having an epic battle with the Fire Nation. Like, that's part of the place. I'm sure. Spoilers. Sorry.
But our prop game is unparalleled.
Yeah,
I want to get a feel for level of success for this elaborate
we
ruse.
definitely need a roll of some.
Yeah, I think.
No, this is an infallible lie.
I mean, Aki, you're gonna know that they're full of shit, but I kind of wanted to get a feeling for how the rest of the Tipsy Badger Mole is gonna respond to this,
no.
given how much attention you've drawn to
It's
yourself.
almost the kind of stupid that you could see Cerise being involved in, but also,
Yeah. So this is going to be a speak honorably. So you're going to roll plus natural because you are trying to persuade, convince, or manipulate.
Can
One of
I?
my MC characters. I guess I'm the MC, not the game master. Whatever. So you're going to you roll plus natural on this.
I think I want to try to impose a tag before I roll natural because I'm going to. Our prop game is unparalleled. The effects, and then I waterbend, right? So I'm basically trying to distract people from the sword.
Okay, so you want to use your water bending to.
I'm going to use a flagrant misuse of my wonderful powers for this.
Yeah.
Poor lie.
Yep.
So
let's do it.
I know I can't support it in the actual game system, but Cerise will run around to different parts of the crowd and go, "Yeah!"
So here's the
wow,
thing:
great.
you can help. Help is a move.
Oh.
So let's do first. Let's resolve Rill's beautiful show with your water shaping. So you can potentially be able to impose a tag on the environment.
let's find out how that goes.
With a 9.
roll
You
a
get to
9.
pick a single option. So
I would like to impose a tag. I think on like in the, I don't know if it's an environment tag or not, but I want to be maybe distracted, right? Or
okay. I think let's impose that on like the crowd. So we'll say it's the environment. So the crowd is distracted by your flurry. Go ahead and describe what this looks like, and then we'll do Cerise's helping.
Okay. All right.
Because this is really the difference between one of two different things happening, and I'm very excited for either one. So.
Indeed.
So is Cerise rolling helping now?
No, Cerise, I want you to I want Rill to tell me what this looks like, and then Cerise tell me how you're helping, and then we'll roll.
Got it. Excellent. So Rill is really going into the rafters here. There's sort of it's a big open area, and is streaming kind of just like multiple pretty streams of water, starting to freeze at the edges, and sort of trying to waterbend kind of a shape of a mysterious figure with a sword. So people are oohing and ahhing over this mysterious figure with a sword and saying, this play, you'll tell your grandchildren about seeing this performance. Never before has Taku seen such theatrical. Rill is regretting every word that they are saying. The more they go on, but it's too late. They're in too deep, and they have to commit to the bit and the lie.
Yes. I kind of imagine that maybe, and tell me if it's not true, because we've established like you have water, but there's also like cherry cordial on the table, and you're like combining that in and making these like colorful swirls in the water.
Cool. Yeah.
That's how we do blood to keep it PG.
It's no. Blood bending is a thing, but not right now.
I'm almost wondering if you'd be a pretty good hype man, Cerise. Are you hype manning?
Yeah. So how are you helping Cerise?
Cerise is darting from corner to corner to corner behind people and being like, "Wow, that sounds great! Awesome! Whoa, have you ever seen anything like that? They have a smoke machine." And just various things like that to try to get the crowd amped.
Wow, bold.
Okay. So Cerise, in order to help, you can help another player's move. So this is going to be helping the actual the actual lie that is being told. So far, we're just boosting this roll. You're going to roll plus nothing, but if does Rill Thank you, Pumpkin. I was trying to add this command and it's not working.
I
think-
respect Senna,
Do you-
and I'm respected by Aki.
Okay,
I
so
don't
in this
think,
instance,
we actually have a respect.
you do not respect Cerise, so Cerise, you do not add a bonus. So you're just going to roll a flat 2d6, and then on a 7, 8, or 9 or above, you're going to help them, so they're going to get a +2 on the roll, but you might get yourself in trouble.
Just 2d6s?
Yep.
Done.
Ooh, that's a failure.
No, that's a 7. That is a partial success. So on a 7, 8, and 9, you do successfully help Rill in their lying.
Hey.
So, Rill, you're going to be able to add +2 to your roll. However,
Got
Cerise,
it.
somehow you have gotten yourself into some extra trouble. I think you let slip that you are going to be the main character, perhaps, for this. What is something maybe you overcommit to, Cerise?
Oh,
Or do you
I
bring
commit-
Aki in?
okay.
Yeah, maybe.
What
What's something that might get us into some more trouble? Maybe something that's overcommitting. Do you get Aki and Senna involved somehow?
while I'm doing jazz hands, I do jazz hands over by these two, by Senna and I'm just just shaking the hands, and I'm like, and they're in it too, like we're all a part of a troupe, and I just kind of have my arms around them,
Great.
Aki is like mortified.
and I jump up on the bar, and I start doing fake sword motions, and just talking about and saying,
my
no, it is I, the Olive Fox, and just stabbing with nothing, like 2 swords, which is not even like it doesn't even it's not even how they do it.
Makes sense.
It's only 1 sword.
All right. All
It's
right.
2 swords the better. It's a fiction.
Perfect. You say it is I, the Olive Fox. Excellent. Rill, are you ready to lie?
So ready. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, a full
A
success with
lie.
your speak honorably. You had a beautiful +2 there from Cerise, and you managed to roll an 11.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So, with that, with a on a 10+, they believe you. Like, what is it that you are trying to convince the crowd of? That they believe that you are putting on a play.
Yes. The lie is so good. They believe all of that. My main goal was that they would believe this sword is a prop, and that
Okay.
no one
Yeah,
worried.
everyone's like,
that
"Oh,
Cerise
yes,
or anyone
that's
here."
such a good prop. Oh, I love. Yes. Oh, you're so good at this. Is that water bending? Oh, maybe it's earth. But I never knew you're such an artisan. We love your work, Rill. And I feel like there's even like a few like fans in the back. They're like, "We love your work, Rill. You're so talented."
Oh my goodness, Rill goes beet red. Not cherry red, but beet red. Because their family is, used to be artists, and now we just, we've left our art behind because of the war effort. And so the idea that Rill is getting complimented for art that they didn't do, but they could have done maybe, is making them very overwhelmed and excited.
Oh, we can't wait. And everyone's just saying such nice things. They're all so excited about this performance, and everyone's ready. And they keep coming. They're like, "Oh, so Thursday night, do you have flyers? We'd love some. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow? Yes, great, excellent. What's your troop name? I heard they're called the Cherry Blossom Troop." And
Very secretive. Very. We like to keep things very
Yes.
quiet.
We don't have any flyers because currently war effort. Gotta save the paper for
of
other
course,
things.
War.
of course.
War
Where's
paper.
the show
Yeah.
going to be? Is it at the farm? It's at the farm. I heard it was at the farm.
It's at the
The cave is the backdrop.
yeah, it's like the
Oh,
amphitheater.
that sounds wonderful. We'll all be there tomorrow night. We'll bring everybody. Will you be serving
Oh.
cherries? Great. We look forward to it.
Rill looks over at the poor Aki who's been drafted into this as well, and Senna and everybody, and just mouths sorry.
I think this
Grandma's gonna
episode
kill
just
me.
became, let's put on a play.
Sorry. That's all I could think of.
Love it.
Make me uncomfortable.
Right.
That's amazing. So with great hubbub and excitement, the attention eventually leaves the group of you as everybody is incredibly excited about this marvelous performance about the Tales of the Olive Fox that your Cherry Blossom troupe will be putting on this coming next evening, starring the 4 of you.
Yeah. Hey, Aki, you're a good writer, right? Do you want to take on some of the writing here? Kind of like and
For a play, you've said we're putting it on tomorrow?
mostly what Senna's trying to do is like make eye contact with Aki and be like, make sure you avoid, like, you know what to avoid.
Yeah.
You control the story.
Okay, I can try and come up with something.
Maybe you don't have to be in it.
Do we really have to do this? Can we just not do this?
I think, judging by the amount of people who are running through and just looks out the window, I open the door a little bit to the tavern. You can hear people. The play tomorrow. We gotta shut the door.
Let's just put it this way: it's been a siege. People are starved for entertainment.
Well, on the plus side, we don't have to lie for that long. How long are plays? Usually 5 minutes.
2 hours?
2 hours?
I mean, unless it's a one act, then maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
A short one.
We can do a short one. Yeah.
I mean, then it's just the adventure.
Okay.
Is it just the rise of the
adventure.
Fox? We'll do the fall later.
We can do 3. We can do 3.
We could
Do a trilogy.
we could certainly come up with something, but first, I think the important thing is that I say, like, pointing to the bundle on the table that still contains.
It's in my pants now.
Oh yeah, right. That I say, like, pointing in the direction of where you have stashed the sword.
Well, at least we have one prop.
I don't really know if the Olive Fox is going to want that to be used as a prop in a play.
Maybe the Yellow Fox will come to the play, and then I can return it after. That'd be awesome.
I don't know that they would come to an event with lots of people.
If someone wrote a play about me, I'd probably go see it.
I might know something about the Olive Fox.
Perfect. Then you can write the script.
Please tell us. I don't know what to believe. What story do these people need to hear? This art has a purpose.
Okay, I slide Will over some water.
Really sold this to yourself, haven't you? Okay.
she spoke so honorably, or they spoke so honorably that they are just like, yeah, they're in.
I bought my own lie. Now
Yeah.
I'm in it.
What I'm saying is I might be able to return that item to them.
What?
I can definitely get in contact with them.
I'm sure they need beverages and they must patronage somewhere.
But what are we going to use as a prop for the show?
Paint a piece of wood green.
But they've already seen the prop.
It would break their hearts not to
It would
have
break
that
the
prop in it.
immersion.
The Olive Fox would understand. The Olive Fox is about, righting wrongs in the city. Like
And art.
And art. They're
Writing
very
wrongs and
fashionable.
writing art.
I've seen them once.
Yeah. That was so cool. Wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Okay, so
I mean,
I'm gonna.
they're
Do you want to work on? I'll work on costumes, and we
I mean,
can
they're okay.
kind of teamwork on the costumes. Is that what we're gonna do?
You said you wanted me to write something.
Well, you're gonna write. Me and Rill are gonna do costumes.
If you know the stories, you have to pick a great story. You have to pick the best Olive Fox story.
I
Senna, do
will.
you want to play everyone else?
Senna, do you think we can get any spirit activity to go on here? It might be too much to ask, but
My grandma might not
Wait,
like that.
we're having this at the Cherry Farm.
So
How am I
Lauren the GM just wants to clarify. Y'all are committed to this, right? You're putting out a play?
Episode 2.
It looks like it. I don't really know what's happening.
I mean,
This is just looking like the most undifficult way to acquire my sword back. So
I am committed to the play.
and Cerise could,
Oh, I'm not trying to stop
found some-
you.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to make sure where we're taking the story next.
I think we're taking it back to the Cherry Cave.
Okay.
So the group of
I'm
you,
gonna
we
get rocks thrown at me by Grandma.
let's maybe
Gives you
like
good
diddle
chance.
diddle
Grandma
diddle.
will be so moved by tears that Grandma Ava will forgive you.
The group of you maybe lean your heads in for a minute, and we can kind of we narrate ourselves a little bit around some of this. the group of you like lean in as some of you happily and some of you perhaps begrudgingly choose to accept that tomorrow night you're putting on a play about the olive fox in which the sword needs to be used as a prop because of this wonderful and magnificent lie that Rill has told, and we see the sounds of like the rumor and like the information getting passed from like person to person in the city, and people being so pleased and so happy that there's going to be some wonderful entertainment. And I think we even see like Grandma Avo, who looks like an older, smaller, and like more condensed version of Cerise, hearing about this, being like, "I hope that Senna's not there. I don't want any spirits outside of my farm."
I can promise you that there probably won't be any spirits whatsoever.
And the group of you do you all just spend the next day preparing for this in various ways?
I work really hard on my costume so that Grandma Hava doesn't recognize me.
Do you have like a big bushy mustache or something? Like what is the costume, if I may ask?
So like, I kind of want to know what each of you do over the course of the next like day, and there might be some other things that'll happen in that time, but how do you, as a group, commit to your bit?
Senna decides, awkwardly considering she's pacifistic, that her role will actually be the Fire Nation officer that the Olive Fox will be fighting in the story. So there's a helmet.
That's a good idea.
I'll wear a helmet. Grandma will know.
I'm imagining some cardboard.
Yeah. It's like it's basically bark. Yeah. Like I've just taken bark like off trees. It's a bark helmet. It's like maybe what would it be? It's definitely like linen clothes instead of whatever the sleek Fire Nation uniforms are made of, and the kind of
I feel like you
frill.
You dye it all like kind of reddish colors using like the cherry pit dye, probably, right?
Yeah. And I just get some tar to kind of paint the black parts of the uniform.
Mm-hmm. It's a little sticky.
A little sticky and stiff, but don't actually come near me with any open flame, please.
Also a little flammable. That's right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Helmet and tar. Great. So Senna spends most of the time gathering their costume, making it look like. Do you do anything else? Do you try and prepare spirits? Like, do you talk to people? Do you occupy yourself with anything other than preparing for the festivities?
I'm actually so stressed out about having to be in front of this many people that I just, go off to work on my costume and just step out of my body for a little while and go wander in the woods.
You just GTFO. That's your plan? Great. Good. It's like, I'm out.
I'll be back in 2 hours. It's fine. I have a little like rock shelter that I can just put myself in, and usually I'm pretty safe.
Excellent. So that's Senna. Aki, what are you doing?
So
everything just spiraled rapidly out of control.
Really, really rapidly. Mm-hmm. I think my task was writing some kind of play for this, or coming up with something. I said I knew some stuff, so I had to write something.
I would wonder, Cerise, not that I want to get all of you into a more complicated or perhaps troublesome situation, but I feel like, Cerise, you have a lot of feelings and opinions about the Olive Fox, and perhaps you have a favorite story about the Olive Fox that perhaps you might feel an investment to working with Aki to write this particular play just to make her life really, really awkward and difficult. No, it's fine if you don't want to. It's fine.
Well, there is. So I guess I would be Aki. Would you have come over to the cherry farm?
I suppose if we're gathering, yes.
Okay, there's a good table in the kind of the kitchen area where my grandma Avo is making little cherry tarts for snacks throughout the thing. There are no spirit signs that she's also painting, getting prepared to post around the arena or the cave. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is the story's really got to pop. So we want to make the Ella Fox look like ha ha, like really going for it and cool, but also the hero that we all need and deserve. So I want something both beautiful and simple, but also incredibly complicated. Could you do that in like 5 minutes, or how much do you need?
I'm just trying to figure out which story we want to tell here.
The one where the olive fox flies to the top of the mountain. That was a good one. Though I might have made that up. No, I'm pretty sure they could fly. They look like they could fly.
I haven't heard
But foxes don't fly.
that one.
But this is not a fox. This is the olive fox.
Senna's been working on that Fire Nation costume, so we gotta tie the Fire Nation into this somewhere.
How about this? The olive fox defeats the Fire Nation. Just like that thing that didn't happen. Never mind.
The entire fire. Okay, yeah, I can definitely write that. 100%.
Perfect.
Write that.
Awesome.
Got it.
There is as Ceresa's gesturing, you can see various pieces of like green materials stuck to his hands because he's trying to cobble together an olive fox outfit. It is not looking good. He's really good at paper mache and cherries. However, the other olive fox costume is pretty much just a giant cherry costume painted green. Didn't work out. So there's like a couple other options along the way.
Iterations. Yeah.
But the best one is a bunch of branches and leaves tied together to kind of make a cape. And then he's got some makeup over here that he's going to use to simulate a mask.
Awesome. Sounds like it's going to work out pretty well.
Don't worry,
is it like kind of painful for you, Aki, to look at? Just like how inaccurate this is? Do you keep trying to restrain yourself from correcting?
I dropped the sword on the table.
So the thing for Aki, right, is that like she does it for sort of selfish reasons. So all this talk about like heroism and like being the best like defender of the Earth Nation and stuff, like it's like really weird for her. But the enthusiasm, you can't help but get a little bit affected by the enthusiasm, right? Like there's enthusiasm in this project. And she writes a piece about, the inevitable defeat of the Fire Nation at the hands of the Olive Fox and their supporters. That's the piece that she writes.
Do we make like a little like Fire Lord like little crown for Senna to wear, so it's like defeating Fire Lord Sozin?
I'm working on multiple helmets, masks, just anything to conceal my actual face from Grandma.
At least if you've established as well that your actual costume is like mostly just your eyes showing.
True, but she knows my eyes because clearly.
Good.
I mean, they're very distinct.
Good.
One is brown and one is like a pale blue-white thing. So it's yeah. It's kind of hard to blend in. It's fine.
What is our fearless leader, the one who got us into this mess, doing?
Yeah, Real, what are you doing?
Oh no, that cannot be my title.
It's a little late.
So Real spends a lot of time in their big sort of family, big, largely empty sort of family home. The war takes its toll in many places, and there's lots of parts of the city that aren't as inhabited as they used to be. And this is one of the houses that doesn't have as many people living as it used to. But there's sort of an art room where there's tile floors that are easy to sort of let your creations get messy, and there's little alcoves all around with some prized art pieces of the family had created over the years, and Real spends many hours creating tarps and trying to do watercolors for different scene changes, right? So sort of a backdrop that we can put. But the more Real is working on these watercolors, the more the gears are turning, and they're like, Aki, like, how does she know the Olive Fox? Like, I dart around this city nonstop.
Yeah, well, I
know all the shady people in this city. Like, I should know the Olive Fox. How does Aki know?
You were there, right? When she dropped her sword, like in this fight, right? You were like right present.
There with the Olive Fox. Yeah.
I feel like. Do you mind if I like GM a thing?
Yeah.
Lauren?
Feel free.
I feel like there was probably like while you're racking your brains painting and doing this like art stuff for the piece, there's something that looks very familiar, like that you're painting or something that to do with like the scene of the olive fox standing in that field, like having to sort of correct themselves after getting knocked over by some Fire Nation soldier. And you see like hair and like the side of her face when the mask goes askew that looks like the same as Aki almost. And like maybe you make the connection.
I love that. If you're willing to
yeah, totally.
Because otherwise, I'd say we can make a roll for it. But if you want to,
I am
make
happy
that
to leak it if that's what we want to do.
That's awesome. And especially seeing your movements today. You know, Rill is so attuned to specific movements, and having seen you deal with the cherry explosion extravaganza sword debacle today, I noticed that some of your movements from like I think
definitely there's like some similar stuff.
I think Rill like drops sort of a pool of watercolor ink down and does not know what to do with this information. So maybe we cut on that for the moment.
Like, I've never seen them in the same room before.
So one thing I do want to prep before our wonderful performance begins is that nearby to the farm, Aki stashes her like costume change close by,
like
because her intent. Her intent
Fox?
is not to be an actress in this. She wrote it. That's her part. She's gonna show up and get her sword back. That's the intent.
Good. Yes.
So we'll see, how that goes. So she's just gonna stash her quick change nearby.
You hide it nearby. Find a bush. Perfect.
Yeah, like folded clothes with like the mask on top. And the mask is like this fox mask that has is mostly sort of white with like green lines on it, like on the highlighted parts and like the little patterns on the mask, like thus the olive fox.
You stash your costume. Rill, at some point when you are on your way walking somewhere, perhaps you're dropping off some of these watercolors, or you go out to get some supplies, and maybe you're deep kind of in thought. One of the informants, you sort of recognize them. Again, you know all the shady people in town. They will slip just a stone into your hand, these kind of like small pebbles. And this one you see is carved with two symbols that you would recognize. And very simply, but very quickly and effectively, they communicate that there are Fire Nation spies in the city. No one has identified them yet, but it is known that there are Fire Nation spies in the city.
The bit of sort of water that sort of sits around the stone of Rill's staff sort of gets icy around the edges, and they try to keep cool, but they sort of stiffen in a lot of ways.
And I think that's where we'll take a quick break, because we're gonna come back to the theater.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Not where I thought this was gonna go.
I love that this is what happened.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
On a list of expectations, absolutely nowhere near the top, but so happy. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. I wanna load up our break screen. Go get yourself some water, stretch, do all of those wonderful things. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Can I charge?
Intermission for the play.
Yeah, this is an intermission. So we'll be right back.
I'm gonna charge up my powers.
Everybody remember to buy your tickets for the show.
Hi. Hello. We should be able to hear everybody now. We're good? We got
fully
this?
charged. I'm
Did I
ready
do
to-
it
ready to
right?
Do the play.
Need.
The play's the
Words.
thing.
Sane words.
Are we ready?
So ready.
Oh.
Sure.
Welcome back, everybody. For those who are just joining us, we are playing Avatar The Last Airbender inspired RPG. This is set just after the Fire Nation's attack on the air temples as they are sieging the city of Taku in the north of the Earth Kingdom. And our intrepid heroes, protagonists, let's go with protagonists, they're not necessarily heroic yet.
There's nothing pro about us either.
The events immediately preceding today's episode, and this was our session 0, there was a small skirmish on the outside of the city with the Fire Nation, and Aki, whose secret identity is the Olive Fox, lost their precious and also very distinctive green sword.
Yes.
And that sword then ended up in the hands of Cerise, who is essentially #1 Olive Fox stan, and he is just very, very happy to have this sword. However, Aki wants the sword back, and Cerise is probably, I think, was hoping to encounter the Olive Fox in order to give the sword back and like possibly get an autograph. I feel like there was an elaborate plan involved in this scenario.
I definitely wanted them to autograph my sticks.
Yep. The one that you painted green.
Yeah, the ones that I painted green and go brr, 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 and fight in the dirt when no one's looking.
Yeah, it's like, this is a sword. And then, yeah, great, excellent. So War said sword under his cherry costume into town. It was seen by many people. And in order to prevent any suspicion, anyone from thinking that Cerise might in fact be the Olive Fox, Rill pulled off a miraculous lie. And this miraculous lie was, in fact, that this was a prop for a play. And this play is one that they are putting on about the Olive Fox. And this play is happening tomorrow night at the cherry farm. What could possibly go wrong? And so our troupe now, the Cherry Blossom troupe, have been putting together, preparing themselves for the play. Aki has written a fabulous tale. Senna is going to play many of the parts. Cerise, I believe, is playing the Olive Fox. Rill has put together significant amounts of backdrop and other artistic elements. And Rill also was passed a message from the resistance within the city of Taku that there are Fire Nation spies. They haven't been identified yet, but they know they're there. Resistance knows that the Fire Nation is looking for something, but they don't know what it is yet.
Mentioning the Fire Nation, Lauren, are like they have a camp nearby, right? And they have like boats in the harbor, so to speak.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure they were like visibly
they're
present somewhere.
Their presence is there, and I feel like it's kind of, I think in a day-to-day feeling, people have a tendency to like try and forget about it because they're not like in your face, but you see it, right? Like you see the boats on the horizon if you look out far enough into the water. Like they make their presence known.
Ships in the, sorry.
And if and it's definitely also known, like the city is somewhat under siege. The sort of outlying lands have gotten closer and closer to the city because most of them are not protected. The Fire Nation raids them relatively regularly because they're kind of trying to starve out the city to a certain extent. And that caravans or any sort of passage in and out of the city, both by land or by sea, is very difficult. Like it's not impossible, but it is incredibly risky. So most people, like that's a lot of why people haven't left. Also because it's their home. So it's in this kind of state of unease right now. There's sort of a feeling of the city emptying out, but also that people feel trapped. It's kind of a gamble, whatever way you go. So I assume you're putting on the play maybe like, because we're not going to unnaturally light this. So we're going to maybe use daylight for putting on this play. So we
pre-dinner show.
Yeah, it's a pre-dinner. So it's sort of like late afternoon, perhaps. Like the sun, I almost imagine, is maybe like kind of cresting to the side. So we get some long shadows, and we have this backdrop, which is this sort of cave wall that has been raised above the cherry farm that was pulled up by the Earthbenders in Cerise's family to protect the farm. And backdrops have been sort of strewn across the back of it, painting the scenes. Do you arrange like seating or anything? Is it picnic seating?
So there are a row of 3 chairs sitting out front that are kind of cordoned off a little bit.
Okay.
It says reserved on them. Those are the only 3 chairs we have in the house.
Cool.
So there's just 3 chairs, and then everyone else can just sit down on like you can see like there's like some nicer cloths, some nicer towels, then there's less nicer things, and then we just kind of run out of things, so we just kind of things and branches down to try to make it
threw
as
some
comfortable
hay
as possible.
over the mud.
Yeah, like it's just kind of
I would suspect that the Cerise's family's farm is relatively close to the city, which is part of why it's still there. Like there are still farms around the city, but the closer you are to the city, the sort of more likely your farm was to still be standing. So I don't think it's a particularly long walk.
There is a hill. It's a bit of a hill, but like other than that, it's great.
Yeah, so it's not
cherries when you get there.
It's not as dangerous as maybe going slightly farther out would be, but people are definitely arriving in groups with kind of a certain level of caution. So over the course of like an hour, people start filtering in. And they start taking up seats. Some people are incredibly prepared, like Shakespeare in the Park style, pulling out picnic blankets and like sort of a lot of, I feel like there's a lot of like exchanges happening, like, oh, I brought some extra of this and someone else brought some extra of that. And so everyone's like getting themselves comfortable. There's a hubbub. And again, that feeling of people being starved for entertainment and really just glad that someone is doing something that is maybe hopeful and not just the ever-present fear that we're all going to starve or be murdered by the Fire Nation.
I feel like there are some patients of the Herbalist Institute, the ones
yes.
well enough have sort of been brought here to, help with their recovery of whatever
The
it might
healing
be.
power of art.
Exactly.
Yes.
My Grandma Avo, walks past everyone lining up in the front row, unhooks the VIP section, sits down and then puts her legs up in both the two chairs, then hooks the VIP section down again. They are her chairs. Those are her 3 favorite chairs.
That sounds like Grandma Avo.
Yeah.
No.
The other chair, the 4th chair, which is my chair, goes in the back to help us for a bit later in the play.
There's definitely someone selling cabbages. I feel like that's just it. And then Brussels sprouts, because they're just like mini cabbages. The bite-sized
Try
ones.
the sweet Brussels sprouts, cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your relationship with the Brussels sprout and cabbage sellers?
Mostly positive. We go for different things. People don't tend to like Brussels sprout cider. They tried that once and it was very unpopular. I think there was a small riot, but that was BC.
Yeah, it's kind of a different market, right? The whole cherry
it's
Brussels
like
sprouts.
savory, stinky, sweet, delicious.
It's not like you're not kind of like a direct competition with each other.
No, there's like occasionally like at the market if it's getting towards the end where I'm like, and they're like, But other than that, it's been pretty great. We're mostly at peace. We just try to help each other out, try to sell all of our wares. That's what we do. I even made them one. I think I made a cabbage costume once for I want to say their niece.
Is it just a cherry costume, but you painted it green?
Well, there was some texture work if you really want to go into it, but yeah, it was mostly the same thing if I'm being honest.
Cool. So immediately preceding the start of this play, where are all 4 of you?
Backstage panicking.
Yep. Seconded.
Aki is going over the script with the 2 who are going to be,
I want to be clear. Is this a 2-person show?
I think 3.
Three-person show. 15 characters.
Wait, yeah, Aki. I was imagining I was like pulling sets and stuff. Am I in it or am I backstage?
I mean, I think you have to be in it because I'm not planning to be in it. So
okay.
You have to be in it and also manage the.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You can be the chorus that has to like come in, set the new scene, and then change the backdrop.
Awesome.
But knock, 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 and just walk in.
Yeah. So I think in part of the sort of panicking backstage, I also have 2 pieces of very important information I have that I don't know that we really have time to super get into, and I don't know that I want to tell Cerise at all that Aki is actually the Olive Fox for real, but also I haven't proven it with my own eyes, so I'm afraid that Cerise will not be able to give his best performance.
Oh, you think? Cerise might be distracted?
No, I cannot tell Cerise. I have to protect him from this information, but I have to tell somebody, so I'm going to tell Senna.
So what do you do? So you like are backstage, you kind of maybe rushing.
I'm going over lines with Cerise, so I have Cerise off to the side, like.
I am the Olive Fox. I am the Olive Fox. I'm M.
And then that
Olive.
fades into the background while these 2 do their thing.
Perfect. Senna, you have to listen to me.
What?
I know you're not going to believe it. That in
Aki.
this play, that person is the Olive Fox. They don't just have a connection. The way they move, I can swear on my life that person is the Olive Fox. You should look surprised. You're surprised. This surprised? Senna?
I'm shocked. How can you be so sure?
What I would like to do is take the sword. Unless Cerise, do you have the sword? Or you like gesticulate? Do you ever let the sword out of your sight?
No, I am absolutely swinging the sword about.
Excellent,
Probably
okay.
Aki's probably just ducking a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like Ril wants to like see the sword in Aki's hand, and then they'll know for sure. But they're pretty dang sure. So, but you believe me, right?
I you're a very trustworthy person. So yeah, I could really use some more evidence. Yeah. Like
How, like, are you selling this at all? Because it doesn't, like...
Senna does not know if she's supposed to be like, she's like, no, Aki's definitely not it. Like,
No.
no. Are you sure? Like, what makes
Seems
you
like-
so sure?
I will allow us to resolve this narratively or with a roll if either of you would like. So if really you want to buy what Senna is saying, like that's totally fine. But if you would prefer us to do mechanically, we can do that too.
I kind of want to see how I roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how
Yeah.
convincing this is. So I think
Give
this
us
is
a
going to be
persuasion.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm
This
trying.
is speak honorably, so natural.
Okay. Basically, I'm trying to pretend that I'm surprised
Okay.
because I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I know this. But also trying to now convince maybe there's doubt. Maybe you should have doubt.
Like, are you?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm so sure about this.
Senna and Aki have, flashback briefly to the, like, spirit world stuff. That
Okay,
we
so a
did
9 is a
together.
partial success.
Mm.
So I will allow you, Ril, you can kind of interpret that as you will. Like some part of what she's saying, you are like, yes. And then some part you're like, you're not telling me everything. So maybe it's that she's not surprised, or maybe it's that you believe that she's surprised, but that she's, whatever kind of aspects of what she's saying, you decide to pick and choose. Part of it you believe and part of it you don't.
Okay. I believe that so I think that I believe that you know something about the Olive Fox, right? You acted really strangely when I asked you that. But maybe you know something I don't, and that it is somebody else, but you're trying to hold back information. So now I'm like, I think you have more Olive Fox knowledge than you're letting on, but you did successfully make me doubt that I have the right person.
Cool.
I like
But
that.
if I saw the sword in her hand, I would know.
You probably would know.
That's the
mean,
proof
I
that
think-
you need.
We don't know.
You're like, I've at least out narrowed that Cerise is not the Olive Fox. Whack, 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 whack.
Yeah, right now Aki's like trying to deftly dodge out of the way of some very like enthusiastic but not particularly coordinated sword swings.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Cerise's face is in the script, but he's still acting it out with the sword hand.
Maybe you're not actually as perfect at dodging. Like, maybe throw in a fake, like a stumble or two. You look really good right now.
Yeah, like Aki dodges a little too well.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
clearly has training. Yeah.
Now I also know that there are Fire Nation spies here.
Why did you leave with that?
Oh, do
Carry
you
the
do you
lead.
say anything to anyone about the Fire Nation spies?
I was only going to pull aside Aki and tell
Oh,
Aki.
okay.
The rest of us
Okay.
are in the play, and so we're not going to be able to focus on the audience. But Aki, who I now think probably isn't the Olive Fox, and either way, Fire Nation spies detection is more important. We dramaturges, we won't be able to focus on who's in the audience, but Aki can help us out.
So is this the moment where I get Senna and pull her over as well, and then hand the script off to her and Cerise, and just like, okay, practice for the next 30 minutes that we have, like, and
Um,
get a moment to talk to you, Ril.
mhm.
Mhm.
I need your eyes sharp, but not on the play. Now, ordinarily, as an artist, I would never ask someone involved in production to be focused on anything other than the production of our art, of this important moment in Taku's history, this day that will shine on. And they sort of calm down after a moment, sort of swell in emotion, and then realize what they're talking about. I need you to know, and I need you to keep a lookout for Fire Nation spies in the audience.
And
I
there's
don't
like a look of like realization when you say that, as if she's not entirely surprised, and then she gives you like a very serious, like curt nod, like, yeah, of course, I'll keep my eye out.
All right, I need you to if you pull on that string
me?
over there. Oh,
Darcy?
me?
Oh, now I can hear you. That was
Sorry.
weird.
I'm going to give you a signal to pull if you notice spies and if we need to jump into action, right? So there's a little lantern and there's a string on it, and if you pull it, it'll. Oh gosh, what?
I am
Fire
so sorry,
on the
friends, I can't
stage?
hear anything. I don't know if
no!
it's me or.
Oh,
Can you all hear me?
I can hear you.
We can
Okay.
hear.
You can hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you.
all of you.
Okay, I'm so sorry. It's something, my internet's like slow or something.
That's okay.
Sorry, Darcy, could you repeat one more time that
What's the
dramatic
signal?
thing that everybody was reacting to that I really wanted to react to also?
There's a little stone like pillar with like a little hut on top, like a little cute house thing with a candle inside. The
Yes, I'm
whole
fine.
atmospheric bit of fire on the side of the stage, not near any of the set dressing. Very safe, very lovely, atmospheric. As
No near any of the human dressing.
Yeah, because Senna's covered in tar, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And so if you pull this thread, it will like pull the it'll knock the candle over and then it'll shudder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flawlessly.
Great.
No mistakes will ever happen.
If I notice anything, I will do that.
Okay, that's the signal.
All right, cool, good.
Let's put on a play.
I feel like Darcy, you just like were like, "Hello, Lauren, happy birthday," and just handed me a present.
I did not think about it. I forgot. Oh no.
All right, let's put on a play.
It was nice knowing you all.
And I feel like you the crowd is getting a little restless. People are like waiting, and you all feel that moment where it is time for you to begin. Now, as much as part of me would love us to just like act out this entire play, we don't need to do that. What I would like to know from each of you is kind of what are your characters attempting to do during the play? Like, is it play your part effectively? Is it watch the audience for Fire Nation spies? Like, what are you kind of trying to do? And I think we'll do some sort of some series of rolls to just see how it goes, and if maybe the play will go completely successfully, or maybe it will not.
Sounds great.
I feel like the play can be fan fiction. Anyone wants to write
Yeah,
that?
if you'd like to
Feel
write
free.
the dramatic play of the Olive Fox versus the Fire Nation, then feel free.
Fire Lord Sozin.
It does open with the dialogue mistake. I am the fall of Ox.
So what are each of you attempting to do? What is your character's objective within this
So,
lovely play?
having written the play,
Mhm.
I know when the perfect dramatic moment for the real Olive Fox to arrive.
Oh,
would be.
yes. Okay.
So, I am waiting for that moment to, like, shortly before that moment, to grab my quick change and make my way onto the stage in a dramatic fashion so I can get my sword back.
Okay, so you're just
And maybe make a declaration about how I am going to beat up the Fire Nation, like,
Ooh.
sort of truly.
Kind of like a noises off thing happening here.
So that.
Okay.
But before that, I'm gonna try and keep an eye out, like while things are going on. But my primarily dramatic entrance followed by.
Okay, so
Getting my
you're
sword back.
a little distracted while trying to watch the audience, and because you're really focused on the dramatic entrance.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I want to hear from each of you, and then I'm gonna kind of figure out how we're gonna resolve things.
Okay.
Anyone else? What are your characters up to?
Senna is not, it's not like being in front of this many people, so definitely kind of like trying to stay composed. I assume that whenever she's on stage, she's just kind of like can't look at the audience. It's that like actor that can only look like just that way and like at the other maybe not even at the other actor. But she also is like, she doesn't like that the Fire Nation is here at all. She does not agree that they're here, but
Do
she's
you
also
know?
a very empathetic person, and so she's like maybe almost inadvertently adding like layers onto the characters, so they're like, you know, Battlestar Galactica level like gray characters that you like might like.
Oh my god! To be clear, I don't think Senna knows about the spies, but she does.
No.
But she
No,
does.
she doesn't.
Okay.
But it's just like, you know, she doesn't really want to come out as a like warmongering character because that's just not who she
Oh,
is.
you
in
play,
like,
like,
she's a
the
hard time.
sympathetic-
She's like, I could just
calling it,
imagine
like-
that a Fire Nation soldier might have been conscripted and might not fully believe in this invasion. I mean, so, and she's playing
Yes.
like multiple different Fire Nation characters. Just so.
Good. Okay. So you. Okay. Perfect.
Glad I wrote a script.
Yep. You go off
I'm
book a few
following
times.
it mostly,
perhaps.
but I'm nervous that I'm blacking out and I can't remember my words.
Line. Rill
We're the Fire Nation and we attack.
Oh, Cerise, that's the only line. You're like, Fire Nation, attack. I am the fall of Locks. That's the play. That's it.
I think Rill is starts the play out trying to like be on high alert, but ultimately Senna's emotional portrayal of these Fire Nation characters and some of the backdrops had basically Rill went too far out and now can only focus on trying to keep this horrible cobbled together machine continuing, right? Like you can't,
Yeah.
I can't focus on the audience. So there are scene changes where, ink or a dark liquid sort of gets poured behind on a backdrop and we move to the next set. There's a little bit of water bending on occasion of sort of ice cracking at dramatic moments.
Oh, yes.
And so they're sparing an eye for that marker of if something's gone down that the sign will be given. But other than that, they are completely dedicated to occasionally being kind of honestly emotionally moved chorus and keeping the logistics of the scene changes moving. So they're totally focused on the role.
I love that Rill gets distracted by the art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Cerise, what are you trying to do during this play?
Cerise is, at the moment, trying to truly honor the olive fox, but is having a hard time with the lines. Usually when he's performing, he's in a giant red cherry suit in the market trying to get people to buy cherries. But in this instance, he is now in a crowd. There's a lot of people there. And he steps out and he messes up the first couple lines. And you can hear people being like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And he takes a second when the Fire Nation soldier walks on stage, looks back at the cave, and remembers 3 years ago when his grandpa Plu died creating it and was killed by the Fire Nation. And he resets himself and proceeds to try to give the best performance to honor not only his family, but his hero, the Olive Fox.
Okay. That's so sweet. All right. So let's start with our performers. I believe we have our Senna and Cerise. They are attempting to perform to the best of their abilities. To actually pull this play off. So I think I will accept either of these, depending on, I think, how you're approaching your performance. It could be a move with intention, so you would roll plus fluid, or it could be speak honorably, so it would be plus natural. So you're basically like, how are you acting? Are you acting more with your words or more with your actions? And that's kind of up to your character and how you think they would go. None of you have said or alternatively, I might even say if you feel like you really need to, you can do a stand fast to just not completely succumb to stage fright.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
So how does the stand fast work?
So stand fast, you just roll plus solid.
Oh.
And that's basically to act in reaction to being under pressure. So that's only if you like really feel like you need to. I'm okay with us saying like narratively you can get past that. And then we will see the quality of your entertainment and acting through either moving with intention or speaking honorably.
Senna's gonna go with the moving with intention.
Okay.
Especially after Cerise like recomposes himself
Mm-hmm.
and like starts speaking. She's like, okay, nope, can't even touch that with a pole. We're just gonna, yeah.
I feel like it also makes sense. Like you're intentionally, like Senna's very much intentionally covering her face.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's gonna be muffled. Like her acting is physical. It's, yeah, like we're attack, but also like, but oh, secretly conscripted. My family was threatened. Okay, so we've got a move with intention from Senna, and what are you doing, Cerise?
I'm gonna go with natural.
Natural. Okay, so let's have Cerise roll first with speak honorably.
Okay, speak honorably.
And you are attempting to basically get the crowd to your side. So I think if you succeed, we'll apply a tag to the crowd.
Cannot see what I rolled though. That's the problem. That's a 3.
That would be a 3.
That's a 3.
Wow!
I wish I didn't see it.
Oh.
Wish I didn't see that.
Yeah. Okay. So I think
can
instead
see.
we will apply a tag to you, which I think you're gonna have the tag. It'll be a mild tag because it's your first one, which I think as much as you might want to, Cerise, you're not able to compose yourself. So I think you get the mild tag flustered.
Flustered.
And I also think perhaps you are fairly dangerously wielding this sword. Like you are not exhibiting good stage sword safety.
No, there are definitely holes in some of the backdrops now.
What about Senna? I would like some new armor, please.
Yeah, so let's have Senna roll the move with intention, which is good because at this point,
Oh, this is very good. I
I
moved not by your words, but by your sword swinging.
Yeah, like you almost stab many people with
Blocking
your
is
sword.
just not getting stabbed. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's a 6.
I think I got stabbed. I think I got a slight cut.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's you take the mild tag, moderately stabbed or mildly stabbed. You
Mildly stabbed.
Like you were trying to act physically with bravado, and you're like, I am sympathetic, and Cerise is like, I am the olive fox.
Just like a kid with a stick playing like.
But
Ninja
you know
Turtles.
what? I think here's the more important part. Your mask falls off, clatters to the ground,
Like,
and Grandmother Avo.
I just heard the 2 black bars, Grandma.
Yeah, just like she's like selling concessions. She's like selling cherries, and she's like, she's here. Who let her onto the stage? And she just like takes a stick and prepares to throw it. So with that, we'll
She
pause
found
for
the
a
sticks,
second.
run!
For a second. Aki and Rill, you have both been observing the audience.
Yes,
I will ask you
indeed.
the question of, would you like to say you have put enough effort into observing the audience to think that you can make a roll? Or do you want to just say that, no, you were probably too distracted by
I
whatever
mean,
you were
I've
doing?
been watching this terrible play as well, so I think
You wrote it.
Like, yeah. Well, I mean, I wrote it, but you're acting in it.
Okay.
So I think I need to make some kind of roll for sure. Like,
Okay, why don't you go ahead and observe carefully.
Observe
We'll roll plus keen, and we'll see what happens.
plus keen. Here we go. Plus keen. I rolled a 4, so I did not.
Your roll has not popped up, but you got a 4?
What-
Yeah, there it
what-
is.
yes. What I will remind you all of
Yeah.
is when you fail a roll, add cheese.
Yes.
Because you get experience for failure.
Yes.
Reminder.
Thank you for that. That is a
Failing
good
is
reminder.
good. You get experience.
All of you have now received a point of chi. Yeah, so I think you maybe try to observe the audience, but you don't know. If there is a Fire Nation spy in there, you don't care and you don't know, like you haven't noticed.
And it's time for me to ditch out.
Yeah, and I feel like the moment that the dramatic scene that's happening is exactly this moment. Like you're like in the olive fox gear and like about to spring onto the stage when the mask clatters to the ground.
God damn it.
Let's see, Rill. what are you up to? Do you think you wanna do an observe carefully to see if you've noticed anything? Or
Is the observed carefully for the Fire Nation spies or Grandma Avo's wrath?
how about you just roll and observe carefully and we'll see what you figure out.
All right, cool. That sounds good. Because
Yeah.
I kind of grew up with Grandma Avo, so I feel like the disturbance in the force, but it's how soon do I notice
Yeah,
it, right?
you're watching the crowd as a whole, and Grandma Avo is included in this.
All right, so I shall roll keen. A 5.
Wow.
Yes.
All of you have failed. I really was going to leave the success of this play in the hands of the dice.
No.
That was a mistake.
Mark a point of chi. And I think I'm going to just swig that beer real fast. So, Rill, I don't think you notice beforehand, because I think you see someone leave the crowd. And you don't know, but like some part of you thinks, oh, the maybe that was a Fire Nation spy. But before you have time to react, to follow them, to do anything that would be useful, like you see a stick just hurling its way towards the stage from Grandmother Avocado. Oh my God. Grandmother Avo. Yelling like she throws a stick and then is waltzing towards the stage, yelling at Senna, who is standing there, mask on the ground, slightly stabbed by Cerise. What do each of you do in this moment?
I try to calm down my grandma.
How do you calm her down?
No, it's part of the play. That's not really Senna. That's Senna's a character in the play later. So this is real.
Wearing a great Senna mask.
Yeah, really well made.
Okay, so Cerise is trying to lie to Grandmother Avo.
I wouldn't say that.
And
I wouldn't say it. But
you wouldn't say it, but it's still true. Because lying is never a problem and definitely not what got you into this mess. So you were trying to lie to Grandmother Avo. Senna, are you gonna help? Like, are you also trying to convince with this lie, or do you want to try and do something different?
Do we have any water nearby?
I assume you came
water for the effect.
prepared. Yeah, and Rill is using water for effects.
I was gonna Senna kind of find some water and like
Wow.
So you would like to help by trying to fake water bending.
Whoa.
That's
Cool.
not a
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right, so we'll resolve those two in a second. Rill, Aki, what are you two doing?
I'm not sure if now is the time to present my wonderful.
Now's the great time, please.
I feel like it may be too late. I think you were committed to the moment. I feel like you were like, this is my moment, and you...
Can I toss you the sword in the chaos?
Certainly.
I mean, Cerise still has the sword.
But Cerise is distracted.
Oh, so you would like to try and get the sword from Cerise. Okay.
I'm worried it's go time because Fire Nation spy maybe, and so I want to in the chaos.
I think I am indeed gonna make a presence on stage. Like I'm gonna show up via some acrobatics from above somewhere.
Your stupid wire walking, and by
Like
stupid I mean
wire-fu?
brilliant.
Yeah.
Your wire
You're in
fu.
all Fox costume now. Awesome.
I am fully, yes. Fully indeed. My idea was to do such a dramatic entrance.
Okay, so you're going for the dramatic entrance, and Rill, you want to try and steal the sword from Cerise while he's distracted? Okay, so let's do some cascading rolls here. So Senna is trying to help. So Senna, let's see how well you can fake some water bending. So you just roll. Cerise, do you respect Senna?
Yes. Wait.
No, wait.
No.
Is that on the sheet?
No.
Okay. So Senna, just roll a flat 2d6.
Okay.
I should make a macro for that if it's not on your sheet.
I have one that has a 0 bonus, so I'll just do that.
Yeah, just go ahead and roll that. But I'll make a macro for everybody.
Unsurprising.
And it is not the most convincing water bending.
It's a little
Mark
spittle.
Chi. Always Mark Chi.
Yeah, so mark your chi. Markucci and Cerise, you roll your attempt to speak honorably, but in this case lie to your
Okay, so that's natural.
to your grandmother.
Right.
Yes, roll plus natural, and I'll make a quick macro for
After
you all.
I just spilled water
That
up
was
my sleeve.
4. So
Hey,
what happened?
hey.
The water spills on the sleeve and down to the ground.
Yeah.
And we both look at the water. We both look up at Grandma, and I just go, "Wow!"
There's,
I think
there's just a silence. It's like
I think
crickets.
in this moment of silence, there is only like because the crowd is just like, what the fuck is happening? You
Yep.
know what I mean? It's that
Yep.
kind of stunned silence. In that moment of silence, there is like the sound of someone landing from a height behind you, Cerise. And in perfect like superhero landing pose is the Olive Fox, the real one.
It's the fall box.
I should probably roll something for that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you don't need
fluid or
to,
something.
like, you are capable of doing this, unless you're
I'm
trying...
just wondering if I can pull the moment back around by doing it impressively enough that people's attention
Okay,
is...
yeah, let's, so I think
You
you
know what I mean?
have wire foo, right?
I do indeed have wire foo, which means
Okay.
that even if I fail, I get to do something on the list of move
Excellent.
with intention.
So let's go ahead and roll your move with intention, wire foo.
So
Let's
While
see
she's
it.
doing that,
Fluid.
Cerise is trying to figure out
I
what this is
get-
in the script.
a partial success,
Partial success.
which means that I get an extra one because of, I think because of the
I think
wire
so.
foo. Is it that? Let me check. I'm not entirely sure that that's what it means. And I only have my warrior tags open here. Let me just give it a
Perform a
read.
plausible move with intention. On a failure, you... well,
It's only on a failure you choose one of the options.
Yes, this would be a partial
So
success.
on anything but it's partial success, so it's fine.
Okay.
So partial success for move with intention. Sorry, I'm like
yeah, no, it's okay. I'm very
Um,
warm.
partial success with a move with intention is choose one of the following. +1 to my next roll, add an environment tag to the scene, place a tag on the target you're getting position on, or you're safe from imminent attack. I am gonna place an environment tag on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Or could my target just be the audience?
Yeah,
Like,
in this case,
can
I think
just-
the audience.
Can I just say the audience is like one?
Yeah, they
thing?
are currently
All right,
operating
we'll
as an
place a
entity.
tag on the audience. Paying rapt attention.
Ooh, I like it. The audience. I think this is beautiful because I feel like Cerise maybe doesn't notice you land immediately, and so Cerise, you're like ta-da, like pointing at this splash of water of attempted fire, and the audience all goes. And in that moment, Rill, are you attempting to steal the sword?
Yep.
How are you attempting to steal the sword?
Let us see.
Because you have the move with intention would be kind of the default one, or unless you wanted to try water bending in some way.
I want to move with intention.
Okay.
I want to just.
Tell me what this looks like, and then make your roll.
I think it is. I think I pick up one of Grandma Avo's sticks off the ground that she's hucked up on
Yeah.
stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Lady.
try to pick one up and sort of just hit Cerise's hand to sort of force them to let go and hopefully catch the sword and toss it
Okay.
to the Olive Fox.
You're not doing like an Indiana Jones, like pull the sword.
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Ooh, I like that.
I mean,
That-
feel free to try. You're like,
That's way cooler. Real does that.
Yeah.
Let's try it anyway.
Will is super cool. Okay, yeah, roll your move with
Roll for
intention.
cool. 11.
Oh,
We have a success.
Yay.
With a I think with a full success, unless you have particular options you would like to pick from the list, I would say you can add one to your next roll, and then the other one would be that you successfully do the swap, or pick a different option. But
Yeah, that sounds good. When to the next roll?
so you very deftly. In the moment of distraction, maybe like Cerise is like, see, and his hands behind him. You sort of like come up, and you're used to a sleight of hand.
That's true.
And Cerise, you're suddenly holding a stick, and Aki, you are suddenly holding your sword.
Or is it given over to me immediately?
I think
By
so.
Real?
I'm hoping to toss it to you to make you catch
Yeah,
it.
so
I
you
want to
get-
see that movement.
Yeah, so you grab it and you toss it through the air, and Aki does indeed catch it out of the air. And when she catches it, she steps forward in front of everybody else, like to address the crowd, basically. And she points the sword like into the air towards the back of the I would say auditorium, but this is just like a
Charatorium.
The
Cherokee.
field.
Territorium.
the back of the field, yeah. And says sort of declaratively, whether well performed or not, the intention here is clear. I will be coming after the Fire Nation, and they should be worried. And then she sort of like flips it around in her hand so that it's like facing her, and she like slips it into the scabbard at her hip, and like sort of like rolls off stage and tries to like disappear into like the side of the
like
the darkness
amongst
at the sides
the
of the
trees.
stage. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like slip around behind and like hide in the trees. Does anyone try and stop the yellow fox from disappearing? Because if not, I think you just succeed.
Cerise.
Also, the crowd hoots. Like, they are very pleased by that statement.
Yeah, woo!
Cerise realizes that is the olive fox, and just kind of just standing there like, and then faints. Just
I want to try and catch you if I can.
I think you do, but I feel like maybe there's a little bit of like, and you kind of have to like drop Cerise most of the way. I think at that moment, the grandmother Avo stands on the stage. She's like, "All right, you've seen enough here. Buy cherries and leave.
she's just throwing sticks at the rest of. She's pulling them from her bag of sticks.
Get
just
off
like,
my
"Go."
field. Get
Go.
off of my field. You've seen enough today." And she like
Take your litter.
comes over and she like takes one of her sticks and she points it at you, Senna. You aren't the waterbender. You're that panda girl.
No pandas here.
She like actively looks around.
Would you like me to help Cerise?
That boy has a weak constitution, it seems. Thought I'd raised him better than that.
Olive fox. Just
Olive
stars in the
fox.
eyes.
I'll let you be
Olive
here
fox.
this one time, but if I see any lick of a spirit amongst my cherry trees, she has another stick. You don't know how she got it. Amongst my cherry trees, if I see anything, any of your hooey nonsense, you best assured I've got more where these came from. And this, and she like stamps her foot on the ground and like a pebble like flies up and like floats in the air and then lands back on the ground. I still have some tricks up my sleeve.
Grandma's an earthbender as well as a stick bender.
Yeah.
Great.
Thunder stick thrower.
Don't
Cerise!
worry,
And
Grandma
she's
avocado.
Taps
Everything's
you with a
fine.
stick on your face.
Uh.
Cerise!
Where's
Wake
the
up, boy.
sword? Where did the yellow fox go?
Focus! You were putting on a play and then you've passed out on the stage.
Was that in the script? I didn't memorize it.
Clean up this mess. I'm going to go deal with the cherries inside. And you know what I said about... And she like points at Senna. I'm disappointed in you, boy. But also that was a delightful piece of entertainment. You should consider a career in the theater.
Senna was integral to the play. So I really respect Senna. So I'm definitely gonna. I don't challenge Grandma Avo very often, but that play could not have gone
Real?
off without Senna.
Grandma really likes you too, which is
Yeah, she
I
like
know.
leans
I
on her
might be
sticks.
spending that cred. So I'm going to go into a bit of how, the costumes and the emotional integrity. This play could not have gone off without Senna. Senna cares so deeply about the people of Paku. She brought. You saw the performance she brought. That was bearing her heart on stage, Grandma Avo.
She did play that Fire Nation a little more sympathetically than I would have liked, but I do see the spark of creativity in that one. Give me a roll. Give me a speak honorably.
Oh no.
Let's see.
I'm not very good at that.
You still doing well? How are your rolls going?
Ask the kitty to roll.
Yeah, he's knocking over it. So a 7.
A partial success.
Does she
Partial
take
success.
some of
What
the
happened?
signs away?
Yeah, I think Grandmother Avo sort of stops for a moment, kind of looks you up and down real, and she's like, I've always liked your family. They've helped us here many times. They've done the water. They irrigated our cherry farms. We wouldn't have gotten very far without their services to this community. And if you think that this one here, she gestures one of her sticks up and down at Senna, is not a troublemaker, but perhaps of just a misguided youth, well, I'll rethink my original opinion. But no spirits! Not on this farm. They're too attracted to
So-
the cherries.
They're on
Does-
the spirit realm. Totally in the spirit realm.
Grandma,
Yes, Cerise.
does that mean that they can stay for dinner? Is it just the most like?
Well, like still on the ground.
Yeah, still in
Oh.
Rill's arms, maybe. Is that
All
what?
right. All right.
After we
can
clean
stay.
up, of course.
She
Yes,
like
of
yeah,
course.
she looks at you, Senna. She's like, you can stay for dinner, but no pandas.
No pandas. No pandas. Corporeal or spirit.
No pandas.
She
Promise.
like slowly walks her way back inside the farmhouse. The three of you are left on the stage. Aki, you have disappeared. You are hiding amongst the trees.
I am waiting for an opportunity to speak to Rill,
Ooh.
given
Just kind of
some
lurking.
some opportunity. But yes, I have disappeared indeed.
Hiding.
Suspiciously hiding.
Okay. And what do you...
We have to have a cute animal in the
Yeah.
show, okay?
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. It's a kitty
Really
toad.
working hard.
Kitty toad. That's your cute animal.
I felt left out. I wanted to have a cute animal.
It's
too. I
part
don't have a
toad,
pet.
part cat.
And I couldn't really hold up my fish.
Yeah.
Kitty toad, perfect.
So the three of you are left on this stage. What do you do?
As soon as Grandma walks away. Did you see the olive fox? The olive fox was here on my impromptu stage right in front of me and took my the sword. She took the sword. But I got a cool stick. I got the olive fox's stick.
Yeah. I can whittle that for you. Unless you don't want to touch it.
No. I'm gonna. I put it through one of the belt loops in my overalls. This
It's got like
is my
twigs
new
on it.
prized possession. And yeah, how do you think it went? Do you think we're gonna get good reviews?
I mean, I think that there will be talk of it at the Thirsty Badger Mole tomorrow and possibly tonight.
To be honest, I'm proud of us. It did not go the way I expected, but I think we distracted everyone from their troubles tonight. We saw the olive fox. Rill gives Senna a look of like, I know you know things you're not telling me. But I'm afraid we have even more dire things to worry about coming up.
Oh yeah, dinner. I'm gonna go help Grandma with dinner. If you guys want to clean up, bye. And then Cerise just runs into the house. Grandma, I'm coming.
Fire Nation spies, Senna. They're
Mhm.
Fire Nation spies.
What? What?
Just help me clean up. I'll fill you in on all the
Okay.
details. So start taking
perfect.
down all the set dressing.
Tapestry- Yeah, I'm gonna
Blow
stay
out the
away from your
fire.
little candle.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Aki is conspicuously absent from takedown.
Yeah. Mhm.
And apparently so is Cerise.
Yeah.
I
Possibly.
get
I think at some point you get sent back outside, Cerise being like, "You're supposed to be helping your friends."
Yes. I get a mop to like clean up the water that I just dumped on stage about 5 minutes ago. It's fine. It's fine. I'm cleaning the dirt. I guess we're on dirt. I'm just gonna clean the dirt. I've made mud.
While you're making mud,
Yes.
so Cerise is not being particularly good at helping, not out of intentional, but he's just literally recanting the play and how the yellow fox jumped on stage and he's jumping off of like one of the chairs and trying to show it, really just getting in the way of the cleaning process, which is
Mhm.
exactly what he was doing in the kitchen, and that's why his grandma sent him back up here.
Legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there's a montage of sort of cleanup and sort of maybe a Tales from the Midnight Society sort of blowing out the candle at the end or splashing some water on it, letting it steam up.
Somebody else take care of the candle. I'm still flammable.
Covered in tar.
Yeah.
Look, water bending, and I just throw
You know,
some water at the candle.
It's totally like your first cosplay where you're like you're so proud of it, but then about 5 weeks later you're like, oh, I thought of so many things I could have done better or different. Not tar, not flammable.
Or, less flammable. I think that about all my cosplays after I make them. I'm like, oh, I really should have made this less flammable.
I always think the opposite. I want to be more flammable.
Uh-huh.
That's just me, though.
So I think eventually, Senna, Cerise, you head inside probably for dinner. Rill, perhaps maybe a moment later, you will follow because someone would like to talk to you.
Yes, the olive fox is lurking.
Yeah, Real is taking a moment. They're looking across the sort of area that's been transformed and what's taken here. It's sort of having a moment of reflection before they go inside for dinner and don't quite want to let this moment go, even though it was kind of a disaster. It was still worth doing.
It was our disaster.
With the crowd all dispersed, there's no real reason for her to be like sneaky about it. So she sort of walks up, like within your peripheral vision.
Mask on.
Still wearing a mask, yeah. And says, "I've been paying attention to what you and your people have been doing.
You could be working with us, you know.
I'm more of a work alone sort. Appreciate the work, though. Somebody left during the performance. Don't know if you noticed."
In the chaos, there was no time to get to them.
I understand. Chaos.
If I hear about something that, say, someone who works alone might be a perfect fit to pursue, there's a little hollowed out tree down that path. They pull up a stone. I leave messages from time to time across the city, but I check that most days. And if you're interested in any tips I might find, have a look.
I might take you up on that. Thank you for recovering this, by the way. I say like holding the hilt of the sword.
It's just not right to take something so fit for your hands and let it languish without its owner.
And there's like a moment of quiet contemplation at that. And then hopefully there are no more brazen incursions like the one at the farm, and I don't have to lose it again.
You know where to find us if you do.
And I know which tree to look for your tips in. Have a good night. And then she sort of like turns to leave. Like, I'm done. I've said my piece. So I'm
Yeah.
out of here. I've said thank you. That makes it even.
um, Rill tosses a little figurine. So I think, there's the sound of rustling, which of course the Outlet Fox would notice, and sort of chucks this little figurine your way. I assume you snap it out of the air.
Of course, gotta snap
Behind
it
you.
out of the air. No problem. Look at it like in my hand.
Yeah, and it's a little like malachite looking like fox head kind of statuette. When like similar to one of those statuettes that's in the sort of family art gallery.
Oh,
So-
that's cool.
That's all. And then Rilla's gonna
She looks at it for a few moments and then like puts it in her pocket, sort of thing. And like Batman's out of there.
oh yeah.
I ship it. Sorry, what? Real, do you go inside and join them for dinner?
I'll work alone. Well, you could work less alone, and even if you do want to work alone, I'll leave hints for you.
Oh, winkety face.
I feel like it's this begrudging. I guess you're doing this similar thing. I used to be angry at you because you're not with me. If you're not with us, you're against us. But
Well, I also have an oath to you.
yeah,
Technically. Or
right.
whatever it's called. I have the oath. I've sworn not to harm Rill, even though I do not trust them.
So we may need to work on these relationships as we go forward.
Yeah.
Cool.
What?
Resistance, working for the good of the Earth Nation. I just got Fire Nation stuff to do. Come on.
It's so good. It's so good. Real, do you head inside?
Yes.
Go join them for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Grandma Ava
piece
doesn't-
together at any point that Aki disappeared and never showed back up?
Pardon?
Do you piece together at any point that Aki disappeared and never showed back up? But the Yellow
So-
Fox was around? Because
So
I think
I
you were somewhat unconvinced, right?
Oh yeah. I think when I tossed the sword and saw the sword in Olive Fox's hand, I think that was still enough to see
It's like a confirmation of motion. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Cool.
like how Aki like spins bottles in
Yes.
the bar.
Yes.
You're just like, that's it.
Oh. Yep.
So the
Did that
only
clearly
person who doesn't know is
It's
Cerise.
Cerise.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Also
other
doesn't
than
know about
having
the Fire Nation stuff, anything really.
Cerise is
Cerise was very doing the play, okay? That was
He's
very
Very
important.
committed to the performance.
a beautiful, beautiful, precious bean.
Cherry.
What
He's a
what's
pu-
the take on the cherry sales for this family?
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah, they did all right at the concessions. So do other than have dinner and pleasant conversation, do any of you want to have any other conversations this evening? If not, we will kind of move forward a little bit in time.
Senna. Oh no, so Aki's still gone.
Aki doesn't show back up.
Aki's gone.
Yeah.
Had a shift, I think.
I mean, can't just stash the sword away now that she's got it like back in her hands. It would be
Right.
silly to like costume back down and come back in.
Well, I mean, you did spend all that time writing that play. That's a huge cognitive load. You've probably just passed out somewhere.
Yeah,
and
you
we're
need
just
some
gonna
time
let
to
you
rest.
sleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
we get it. We get it. I think Senna very much enjoys the dinner and feeling mostly welcome in the house, and is really appreciative of Rill for standing up and for me. And,
Yeah, she stood up to Grandmother Avo.
yeah,
It's no small feat.
avocado.
Oh, they. Sorry.
Well, even with all your mysterious backstory that now I'm so curious to get out of you at some point, like what do you know about the Olive Fox? I still respect you. You've helped me, speak with the spirits before, and the spirits of my relatives. So
You're
I
very
can't
welcome.
forget that.
It's my honor.
Can't repay it.
But I do think that Senna is probably the first one to leave
Okay.
as evening starts to fall. She does not. I do not want to overstay my welcome with Grandma.
Tenuous.
It's been good. Let's leave. Let's leave while everyone's still happy. And I do want to take some time with kind of the spirits that are coming out in the evening, and I want to get far enough away from the cherry farm to do that out of respect.
Okay.
Grandma thanks you.
So you head home.
Yeah.
Aki, you've departed to a shift or to nowhere. Rill, you head home as well.
Back to the tavern
The
room.
tipsy
that
bedroom.
that I possess.
And Rill, you take your leave at some point as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some time will pass, and by some time I mean the evening, night, and day. Are any of you going to get up to anything in kind of the immediate term, like the next day?
Nope, you go.
I would definitely I would seek out Rill again. Rill is again the BF and Def of my character, so I would definitely seek out Rill and try to see if they want to hang out, because the market's closed today because the play was so good. That's what I believe. And
It's Sunday,
so
but it's fine.
I choose to believe what I believe.
I feel like there's different names for the days of the week, but I don't know what they are.
Flung Day, Mong. No, come back to me. I'll work on that one. So basically, I'm just like seeking out Rill, and I've got my stick still attached to my waist. I'm walking around town to see if we can get into some trouble, because I like hanging out with my good friend Rill.
And Rill has so many strange acquaintances that they, bump into here and there, passing stones along. Basically, I think Rill is interested in getting into trouble with BFF and Def, but also trying to find out if any more information was gathered about these Fire Nation spies.
Okay, you're trying to hit the ground, kind of learn a little bit more about the Fire Nation spies.
Yeah.
So you just like hanging out with Cerise, but do you at any point tell him about said Fire Nation spies?
So Cerise, Cerise knows, but pretends not to know that I occasionally hold quiet gatherings of like-minded individuals interested in progressive change for betterment of the society of Taku in the in the sort of secluded area of the cherry farm.
You mean the secret tunnel behind the cherry farm?
The secret tunnel.
In the secret tunnel.
But it's always been a sore spot between us, right, Therese?
Yes, not because you're doing the right thing, but because I think it's kind of risky. I think you're going to get trouble. You're going to bring trouble on us. And I just kind of want to exist. I want to sell cherries.
Trouble's coming. All right, Cerise. But this is a fight we've had before.
It doesn't have to come like right now. Right before cherry season, which is every season.
So I think this is important enough that I might drop hints and see if Cerise is open to like talking about it. But if Cerise sort of shuts down at any talk about, rebels and spies and insurrection.
So you're kind of like wandering your way
test
around
the waters.
Around the city, like looking for trouble while you're like
feeling out Cerise about whether they're
Cerise as you're walking past, maybe heading like towards the harbor, and like you catch the eye of the ships in the distance and bring it up in casual conversation.
Yeah.
Cerise, how do you respond as if we want to play this scene out?
Cerise is just kind of throwing rocks at the water.
Seems like those ships get a little bit closer every day.
You want to throw rocks at them?
Yeah. Pick up some rocks. Of course, I'm my skipping rocks go really, really far, right? I cheat.
Yeah. How do you? But Cerise never realizes that you cheat. Cerise trusts you 100%. Always just thinks he's like,
I feel so bad.
Hey, Rill?
Yeah?
I don't care what you do. Just take care of you, okay?
Always. I'll take care of all of us.
Hold my hand out. Please.
Have like a cool handshake? No.
Oh, yeah. So Club BFF and Def does this. It's hands like this. Then let's do a better angle. Hands like this. Just come back. Punch. Down like this. Punch. Back. high five, which is not called a high five. We call it a conjoined 10. So we just do this and then go boo, ba, boo, ba, boo, ba.
At what point do we have our emotional moment, please? Is it before the whole handshake goes down, or is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the confirmation of, I think.
Got it.
Of that is the promise. This I don't remember the rest, but it's great. It
Excellent.
happens.
All right, but you still don't want to know about it. Just take care, right? So I think I still keep things on the down low, right, Cerise?
Yeah. With the only caveat being something along the lines of, if you get into trouble, let me know, and I pull out the stick. The stick that the olive fox gave to me. The olive fox gave me the stick. I just want to confirm that is his headcanon.
God. Yep. You'll be the first one I reach out to.
That's all I ask. How do you get so good at skipping those? And I'm just throwing them now. Yeah.
Excellent.
Meanwhile, Aki or Senna, are either of you up to anything in particular while this is going on?
Senna wants to, excuse me. Senna would like to check in with Aki, just to be like, I'm pretty sure Real's on to you.
So where do you try and find Aki?
I started at the Tipsy Badger Mole.
Which is a very solid place to start because
Yeah.
it's where she usually is.
This is where you live, right? And work?
Where I live and work. You find her very readily when you get there. Though she's not on shift, she's just like coming downstairs. And she sort of runs into you, like headed out the door as if she was off to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Senna. Morning.
Morning. Do you have a moment?
Of course. Always for you. And we like walk a little down the street.
And when I'm certain that we're away from listening ears, Aki, I think Rill is on to you and your identity. They definitely were confident that you were the olive fox. I tried a little bit of distraction there.
Well, acting so close, I'm not surprised. Usually try and keep my lives a little separate.
Mm-hmm.
But
that was very much a like merging of the lives yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit of an overlap, a little more than I wanted. I'll keep that in mind. That's good information to have.
Do you want me to continue to dissuade them from that conclusion, or?
I don't think they're the sort who's going to let go of their assumptions so easily.
Fair.
Any misdirection you can provide, obviously helpful, but I wouldn't bank on it.
Fair. We know my line is moderate at best.
Have you felt anything strange from the spirits the last day or so? Usually if the Fire Nation is doing something untoward, nature-wise at least. I just don't like that there was someone in the audience yesterday and we haven't heard anything. Nothing's happened.
That's a very good point. Honestly, yesterday, I think my stomach butterflies were stronger than any of my normal spirit sensations. So I don't think I noticed anything last evening. I think I'll spend today trying to seek out some friends, and
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Though you have different friends than I do.
Yes.
So. I will leave you to your friends, and I will try and find some of mine.
Sounds good. I'll see you later this evening.
Of course. I'll be at the Tipsy Badger Mole later on. Have to work, so.
Sounds good. I'll come get a drink.
And then sort of separate.
I think my favorite part is that we get clandestine. Cerise!
There was a reason I picked to play the peasant.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna pick on you, Cerise.
Oh, please do. That's
You're
why
welcome.
I'm here
Love
for.
it.
So you part ways, and sorry, Aki. I don't know why I keep saying Real. Aki, you like head out to go.
So
try
Aki's statement of like, oh, I was just thinking I would try and see my friends as well, is time to find recognizable Fire Nation faces in this town of
Okay.
people that I know pretty well so far, and
Ah.
I would also know who was out of place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. You're
yeah.
looking for spies.
I am.
Is Senna also looking for spies, but like a spirit methods?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a little bit of quiet meditation, and then I think calling and kind of whispering with the spirits to observe carefully around town and see what is different, what feels new. At this point, I'm pretty familiar with the day-to-day spirits that kind of pop around town, and
Cool.
so I think I'd notice if somebody was like
Sort of
drastically
asking.
not there, or
Asking the spirits. Also to point out that like technically yes, you did receive the mildly stabbed. Your mask fell off. I think we have like a Band-Aid on, like just on your nose. Like that's it. That's all that's left. So you can erase that tag.
oh, okay.
I don't think it's relevant anymore. But yeah, just a Band-Aid on
Wait,
your
was
nose.
I mildly stabbed in the face?
Well, that's what cut the mask off your face.
You're right, dude. Oh, dude.
It's like, and we saw like the mask like split in half and then fall off. And that's why your face got seen.
Yeah,
mildly,
it's like
mildly
Hawk
stabbed
from.
in the face. It's a kids show. You're not gonna
Yes.
get actually stabbed, just mildly.
No,
mildly,
mildly.
like a mild stab in the face can be a mild stab.
It's a
Still-
bloody nose.
You're fine. You're fine. You wouldn't. You saw the healers. It's good to go. Okay, so we've got a lot of people doing some spy work, and Cerise and Real, do you eventually part ways?
That would be up to Rill, because Cerise would probably just hang out with Rill until the end of time.
Yeah, I think at some point, Real needs to have a capital C conversation with somebody, or
Okay.
otherwise, there are certain members of the clandestine organization
Yeah.
that don't really like to pass messages when you're with somebody. So at least for a bit of time,
Okay.
I'm going to go make lunch at my house, and I'll meet up with you later tonight.
Absolutely. Dinner?
Of course.
Okay. Grandma's cooking your favorite.
She's not mad at me.
Nope. She's making steamed hams.
Ooh.
Steamed hams,
Your favorite.
cherry
with
glaze.
fried yams.
Cherry glazed steamed yams.
Grandma doesn't know my favorite.
No.
She took your post off your name off or your face off the wall of do not
Yeah,
disturb.
you're allowed
And
on the farm now.
Actually, she didn't take it on the do not allow on the farm. She took it off she put it into the maybe don't throw sticks at section.
It's important. She's got levels.
That's huge. Yeah.
All right, Cerise, you are separated, wandering through the city. You make your way perhaps into a narrow street. One might even say a back alley. Perhaps behind some sort of location. If at any point this doesn't sound like something Cerise would do, please let me know. But
No, this is-
I just assume
Cerise
like he
likes to
kind of
wander.
goes wandering.
Finds crevasses.
And you have your stick, and maybe at some point you are distracting yourself. You're like, pretending to be.
Oh,
the
absolutely. Absolutely swing that stick around.
swinging the stick, like hitting some of the like detritus or something that's in the street. And we, the audience, we see a figure following you through the city as you're making your way down these streets. Not particularly observant, and we sort of catch shadowed glimpses of this individual. And as you are pretending to fight in this alleyway, figure steps out, and they are dressed in very normal Earth Kingdom clothing. In fact, they don't look particularly notable in any fashion. They're sort of a young man, sort of short cropped, kind of brownish hair. The only thing that might make one question is there's maybe a little bit more goldish brown in his eyes than the sort of typical green or brown you might see in the Earth Kingdom. And he sort of smiles and he's like, getting good at that. So he steps up behind you, Cerise. He's not that far away from you.
So he's behind me?
Yeah.
Ah!
Practicing.
Yeah. For acting and stuff. I'm the leader of a new play troupe.
I saw yesterday you were the Olive Fox.
Ah, yes. Did you like it?
It was a thrilling performance.
I haven't seen you around here, have I?
I've been here for a little while.
Ah. Cool. Well, welcome to the town. If you haven't been here for that long, I can show you around if you want.
And he sort of like crosses his arm and kind of like leans casually on one side. And he's like, so, you know the Olive Fox?
Yeah. Olive Fox gave me the stick. It's awesome. We're really close friends.
That one right there in particular.
Yeah. It's a very special stick.
How long have you known them for?
Oh, couple weeks.
Great.
Maybe.
Great. Do you know where people could find them?
Here's
Say
the
your-
thing. There's a lot of suspicious activity around here, and I wouldn't want to tell anyone where they might be found because someone could be looking for the Olive Fox. Someone may be bad, and I don't want to point them in my best friend's direction because then we're going to have to go down and show the bad guys what for. Like this, and like this.
He sort of like steps back like...
I do almost hit him with the stick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he keeps a distance from you. Fair. I shouldn't pry. I was just sort of wondering if someone was in trouble, how they might get word out to the Olive Fox, or to anyone, really, anyone who might be able to help. If they were, and he sort of like steps in and kind of drops his voice, looking to maybe leave the city. I know it's not safe, but some of us can't stick around.
You can just walk. You can walk that way if you need to. It's like towards the end of and there's like some boats over there if you want them.
He kind of gives you this look.
You have to like rent them, but
the Fire Nation, that'll stop you. I've heard.
Oh, I always forget about that.
That are leaving. He just gives you this look. So, is there anyone I might be able to contact to help?
Actually, I think I might know just the person.
Great. Who would it be?
Well, it's my best friend. They're really great. They're really cool, and we absolutely we can get you some help. Don't worry about it. Me and my best friend Rill will take care of it.
Rill.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, I also have one more question for you.
Yeah. What's up?
Is there anyone who's new? You seem like you know everybody in this city. Someone who's maybe come into town recently who hasn't been here before?
I'm pretty smart, and my keen eye doesn't miss much. But if I could think of anyone new, no, drawing a blank.
Really?
Yeah, aside from you.
Oh, I'm not that new. Someone newer than me.
Just get right up in his face.
He sort of backs up a little bit because you're getting really close to him.
I see I can trust you.
If you find anyone or know about anyone, just let me know. I would like to make sure they get the help that they need.
Okay. I'll talk to my friend Senna and my friend Rill, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Senna and Rill, you said, is the one I should get in touch with.
Yep.
About leaving the city.
My good friends, yes. As well as maybe we can get a message to the Olive Fox. But that
is
on a need-to-know basis.
Happen to know anything else about the Olive Fox, we would be delighted to find it.
Oh, they've got a really cool sword.
They do.
They hate the Fire Nation. But you saw the play. Oh, you left early. Why did you leave early, by the way?
Grandmother Avo seems like she was a little angry.
Yeah, she's great.
It felt like I should get out of Dodge before anything got particularly too heated there.
Dodge is really good thing to do when she starts throwing those sticks, by the way. Just as a heads up for the next performance.
Good to know.
Which I think will happen eventually.
Your friend Rill,
Yeah.
where could I find them?
Oh, they're usually walking around wearing like various disguises and things to kind of keep from getting seen too much, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. So look for a shady, shadowy figure in the corner.
Well, no, because they could also, if you're looking for a shady, shadowy figure, you might also run into you might run into Senna, because Senna also looks like that.
And you also said that she could help.
Yeah, probably. Couldn't see why not. She's very helpful. All of my friends are really helpful. We're the helpful friends. That's not what we're calling ourselves.
Could you tell me where Rill lives or where I could find them?
Oh, huh. You know what?
No,
No,
you're not gonna.
no. But what I will say to that, actually, if you stick with me, we're planning on meeting up later.
I might swing back around. I have some business that I have to attend to. Thank you.
Do you want to meet in this dark, dank alley?
You know, you seem like this is a good stick practicing alley.
Yeah, I mean, it could be wider, honestly, because my arms are a little long. I always had longer arms than most of the boys, but that's because I'm doing this for cherry picking a lot. So it's like a lot of really big, and I'm like kind of just doing the cherry picking motions.
Thank you. Thank you so much for helping. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anything for what was your name again?
Lauren looks up a name on her list.
Jeremy Fire Nation.
Yeah. No! I am totally...
Lee. There are a million Lees.
He says, Rollin.
Rollin. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Cerise.
He will shake your hand. And he will walk away.
I do put out the stick hand. That is the stick.
He
hand. So
shakes the stick.
Yeah.
And he leaves. He walks away.
Have fun with your troubles.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
Meet you in the creepy alley.
What ho, Hotman? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
They call me Heat Miser. No.
All right. Cool. Well, that's not how I thought that was going to go, but I love it.
Magical.
Cool. With that, what what do you do, Cerise?
What have I done? Cerise climbs up on the edge of the wall. Because he's in the alleyway, but it's like a building with a wall. Climbs up on the edge and kind of balances and walks over to the corner and just kind of sits down and looks at the village and the town and just sees if he can see his friends, but mostly just sitting there, looking at the stick, thinking to himself about how lucky he is to have such great friends.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm doing while I wait for Rill to show up.
We do have some observations that people have been doing. So I will have the three people who have been attempting to find information and kind of gather information about various things. Tell me, like, your method. Is it kind of talking to a person? Are you observing things, and we'll figure out what move you should roll, and then we'll see what you learn about it. And that, I think, will be the sort of final portion of today's episode. So let's start with Aki. Aki, what was your method? You were looking for people, right?
Keeping my eye out for
Cool.
suspicious individuals.
Then let's go with...
I have intimate knowledge of Fire Nation tactics.
Yeah, let's go with and observe carefully.
Alrighty
Go
then,
and
that's
roll
keen,
plus
I believe.
keen.
10.
Excellent.
Hell
so
yes.
with a 10, you can ask 3 questions. You could also add a tag or environment tag describing the situation. So you could, if none of those questions apply, feel free to ask a different question.
So, I've got one. What should I be watching for?
Okay, so you know that if there are Fire Nation spies here, it's likely that they wouldn't be, like, they would have spent time in this city. but they're here for something. Like, they have sent spies in before. That's not particularly uncommon. But they haven't really been doing it recently from what you remember. Like, a lot of the spies that they sent in were kind of initially to figure out, like, what are the defenses here? So it's likely that they're here for a very specific reason. And that they are looking for something. Could be the olive fox, could be something else. You're not 100% sure what it would be.
What here is not as it appears to be, Lauren?
I think you probably spot the individual. Like, you see someone that we know as the audience is Rollin. That you are able at some point to spot them kind of skulking around the city. Maybe not enough, like, you don't learn their name or a lot about them, but, like, you spot their face.
It's just individual.
Yeah, I think you see them as, say, like, they are not who they're supposed to be.
And let's throw in, what do I need to do to be at an advantage here?
I think you need to find out what they're looking for.
Yeah.
If you know what the spies are after, then you can get to it before them.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Okay. Senna, let's see what if you gather similar or different information. You were kind of going via the spirits, correct? You are also muted. You silently investigate the spirits.
Excellent pantomime.
That's how I do it so secretly nobody hears me. It's silent. As I was described at the beginning, everything kind of having a brighter glow that's a little off scans. I'm kind of looking at that aspect of the world and seeing if there's anything that just really looks weird.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to do a little variation because you have this ability, Whispering Spirits.
Yeah.
And Whispering Spirits is a little odd because it allows you to answer the questions, but in this case, you're looking for information that I can supply to you. So what I'm thinking is, what if you observe carefully, but while you're doing it through the spirit realm, they will be spirit-related answers, so you can roll with natural.
Ooh.
Which is your spirit shaping kind of core ability.
Spirit.
So when you make a natural roll as you kind of seek out answers from the spirits. Almost like a meditate. With a 10. Very nice. So with a success, you can also ask 3 questions. And this is information from the spirits. They will tell you things that are, and maybe you asking specific spirits, you can kind of narrate how you're getting this information.
So I see the spirits that previously were the terrified spirits that were huddled in the back of a wagon that we met in session 0. And I see that they've kind of like made themselves at home at the edge of town. And how are you guys doing? How are you settling in?
It's good to see you again.
Hello.
It's less scary now. We haven't seen people setting things on fire out here in a while.
That's good. Have you noticed, I mean, I know you're new here, but what is your feeling about the area?
These were like little radish spirits, right? They were like radishes, but also rabbits.
Yeah.
Rabbitshes.
Rabbishits.
Rabbits.
Maybe, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what they are now. They're like radishes, but also with like bunny ears.
They're
The greens are like the bunny ears?
They're bunny-shaped radishes, and their ears are actually the radish
Yes.
fronds.
So you're going to maybe ask like what does not appear to us or what's something. So the rabbits, they kind of like prop up and you see one of them, their little like green nose like sniffs the air.
The wind's been blowing in an odd direction lately.
Oh, really?
It seems to be changing. Yes.
What do you think's about to happen?
I think it's what's already happening. Something's here.
I brought a notepad.
Yes, Senna astrally whips out a notepad.
Just brush strokes in the air. Do you have a sense of who's in control here?
Well, yes. It's not those flamios that are sitting. They're not controlling the air. It's someone with great spiritual power.
Oh.
They can't talk to us, but they seem strong. I can sense them. They're changing the wind.
Like,
Well, now
I want
I'm
to point out this
looking
little
around.
radish is like sitting back on its haunches, like little bunny paws.
Oh, I loves it. And it's not me, right? I assume I'm not the spirit.
No. You're gentle. Like
Oh.
a soft blanket of moss.
I like moss.
This person's energy seems chaotic. Distressed. Afraid. Fear.
Oh. Are you afraid?
Should I be afraid?
No. I mean, maybe.
Oh no!
No.
Is something coming here?
Oh no! Can I give you a hug?
They're like quivering slightly.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
And
Put
is
the
there
crackers-
anything else you would like to know from these spirits?
What do I need to do to have an advantage over this chaotic?
Find them. Help them. I think. I have to go.
Just like hops away.
Thank you.
And very quickly, because we need to wrap up, Rill, you may learn all of the same information. How are you doing? What is your approach?
So I think I think the scene is real back in like the family home, and there's like a little like pool of pool of water under like an art piece, and they sort of like angrily bring up a bunch of water and splash it back down in the bath, and they're trying to synthesize this information, right? They've got intel, but they can't piece it together, so they're going to meditate. I'm going to roll plus natural, and I can declare a fact about things, or you can tell me a fact about the movements of the spies, right? Like what's new, what are they doing?
I think in this instance, like, go ahead and make the roll, and it may be like you've heard a lot of information that the other two characters have heard, and you can kind of decide for yourself what it is you had or had not figured out.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
So I rolled an 11, which is
yeah.
quite high.
So declare detail about what you learned. So basically decide for yourself, what has Rill synthesized? What does Rill figure out in this process?
Can I have found can I have discovered like a place they must be operating out of, or some pattern in their behavior that might be worth investigating later, right?
I think you would definitely know they're here. They're looking for something. I think maybe similarly to Aki, perhaps you didn't encounter Rollin, you encountered someone else, so you've kind of got the face of another individual.
Okay, cool.
And I think you get the impression that they're looking for someone. They're looking for a person. They're not here to investigate the resistance. That might be like a thing that they'd be interested in, but they're looking for a person.
Cool. All right.
And you kind of
They've got it.
synthesize
It's a
this
person.
information. And as we see all of these individuals in their thoughts, in their investigations, we will drift away from the audience, and we will to be continued to return next time to figure out what the heck they find out. What do they know? Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. We'll do a really quick sign-off. For those who are asking, this show's not happening weekly. I'm aiming for once a month, but we'll see. It is the new Celestial Rangers on this channel, which was the previous show I ran, also theoretically about once every 3 months. That took 2 years. So my goal is to hit it monthly. In the meantime, though, if you missed this, it'll be available on the VODs. I'll also be getting it up on the YouTubes probably late tomorrow or early on Saturday. So you can check it out there. I'll tweet it all out and all that good stuff. You know me. This is my channel. Let's opposite to what we started. Let's start with Cerise Marcus. Who are you? Where can you be found? We'll work our way around.
I am Marcus. You can follow me at Best Kinda Worst on Twitter. I pretty much just post whatever's on my mind, for better or worse. And I just want to say I'm really happy to be here. Everyone's so awesome. This is a great cast. Thank you, Lauren. I am so excited for more. I need more. I need to know what I just screwed everyone into. Oh God. Oh God.
It's fine.
Unreal as Darcy.
So I'm Darcy Ross. You can find me most places online at Darcy L. Ross. I work with Monty Cook Games. You can follow them most places at Monty Cook Games, Twitter, and such on. I'm going to drop a link in the chat that is a link to the current Kickstarter for Numenera, a super fun game that I love that got me into GMing as a whole. So I have a deep love for it. Yeah, and it's a ref link, so just in case. That's why I can tell my bosses that Random Tuesday fans are awesome, which they are. Had
Also,
so much fun
is
in
really
chat.
cool. Monty Cook Game is really cool. Go support their stuff.
Thank you, and so excited to be here. Amazing cast. So excited to see what trouble we get into next.
All right, Aki, Elf.
Hello, friends. I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me on Twitter at Distracted Elf or on Twitch, also Distracted Elf. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for more of this game. It's fun. It's cool. And yeah, cool. That's all I got.
And finally, Maris.
Hello, I'm Maris. I'm the creative producer on Magic the Gathering, and you can find me online as Fabric Alchemist, and you can also find me playing Rose Lau on the D20 Dames podcast. So if you want more bad rolls by me, there's plenty of them there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody here. Go give all of these people a follow. If you haven't, give this channel a follow. Again, I'll be posting this up soon. Stay tuned for tweets about it. And thank you so much all for joining us. It has been wonderful. And enjoy your evening. Have a great day, night cycle. Goodbye.